as a core AWS product for $1 billion that they use today. So what are they really good at? They're really good at building content delivery networks. They're really good at getting high quality live streams flawlessly on a 1 to 7 second delay basis across the internet. And that's amazing. It's awesome. But what were they not as good at, right? What really carried Twitch in the early days and even now was the culture. If you listen to anybody that talks about Bleed Purple, Marcus was and is just a huge paragon of this, right? Like there was a group within
sorry
Twitch.
About that, by the way. Just saying that was my fault entirely. My bad.
What was?
Bleed Purple. I made it.
Oh, was it? Did you make that slogan?
Yeah.
Well, you were part of that crowd of people, right? It was like there was a group of partner managers and like people within Twitch that understood that Twitch is a different product. Even today, the way that people watch streams for an average of 105 minutes, right? It's like twice as long as the Super Bowl. Like the way that people consume content, post ridiculous emojis in chat, interact with streamers, it's different. And there was a group of people within Twitch that understood that. But especially after the acquisition of Amazon, that team of people was opposition. Like, what would you say? They were at odds, I would say, with an executive team that was increasingly archaic because they had built a successful technology but didn't know how to transition that into leadership. So nobody was able to ask the question, how do we drive ads to a path of profitability, and how do we actually build a system that does this? What would have been the right play would have been to bring ex-Google execs who worked on the AdWords teams in and like be like, how do we build this? And then pitch that up to Amazon and say, we're going to build you an ad network that is actually going to be competitive and you can use on all of your media products like Twitch Video, or sorry, Prime Video, sorry, somebody came in. So we're going to build an ad product that works on Twitch Video and Prime Video and everything, Twitch, and we're going to make that work. And that pitch would have changed everything. But that the leadership team at Twitch to this day are just technology people or like completely checked out, you know?
Yeah, I will say that building ad networks without the demographics that you want to build ad targeting for can be really challenging, in the sense that like Twitch as a viewer platform only had one like pretty specific demographic, especially when you compare to something like TikTok and the much wider range of people who use the platform. There is like more justification in the investment in that work, because the main benefit of the work is that ability to target and make CPMs convert better. I just brought up somebody who's like an old friend of mine who's also at Twitch, and I'm sure he has some thoughts on ad stuff. Yo, John, what's good?
Yeah, hey, yeah, no, just wanted to point out something that was kind of interesting. I think it's sort of a self-owned a little bit, because if you look at if you look online right now, you can try and buy ads on Twitch self-serve through Amazon, but you can only buy them on a very select few geos, namely Canada, Italy, and Spain, and a few things. And it might be okay, but generally speaking, I think that it's not for lack of capacity that they haven't turned it on for things like the US. It's more just literally a choice to not sell those self-serve through there.
Yep. Yeah, it makes no sense, because if you look at like what does a brand want to do? Like a brand wants to go in and it wants to run ads that are going to be effective at selling its product.
Yeah.
So to do that, they need to have the most accurate demographic information possible, which Amazon could get, right? Like they could fold that into their ad network and they could make this a whole play, but they don't see Twitch internally as that. And this is something maybe Marcus or somebody would know better than me. There, at some point, there was this like decision by Amazon to put this under AWS instead of under media, and say, okay, like Twitch's main goal is to get people to subscribe to Amazon Prime. And I truly don't understand the internal optics of that. I don't know why that happened and why this wasn't taken more seriously as a media product.
Well, I think there's two aspects to that I can shed some light on. So first of all, you mentioned earlier that ultimately Twitch's goal should have been to build a new vertical that can basically, to put it very simply, fund the rest of what Twitch is today. And that was the plan. Like that was if you remember the Twitch desktop application that had like the games that you could install and download and at one point buy or eventually buy. I forget which one it was. And
can I just say, as the biggest Twitch fan, in the world, I couldn't use that thing, man. It was so hard. Sorry, Ben. I didn't mean to interrupt. But, I struggled. It was just so far away from like the experience of Twitch. But I tried.
Yeah, I worked on it, and I also couldn't use it. I think just fundamentally it wasn't in our DNA to build a desktop application like that. And eventually it was more or less rolled into the website inside an Electron app, and then it was discontinued. Anyway, so yeah, that effort to build that new vertical failed. And there's a second point I was going to touch on. I forgot. It might come to me in a little bit. But ultimately, Twitch... Oh, I remember. So yeah, Twitch is under AWS. I don't know the specifics of at the time, but today it's under AWS, I imagine, at least partly because the Twitch video streaming infrastructure was genericized into an AWS service that AWS users can pay money to use for their own streaming platform. And I don't know the financials of that. I know that there are people in here who can't speak to them, but it could be that is the modern version of let's build a vertical on
wild
the rest
things.
of Twitch. I don't know, again, if it's successful or not.
Wanted to let Corey come up to speak. If I have been informed correctly, he's pretty familiar with the agency side of things, so definitely would love your thoughts.
Hey, thanks, Theo. Hey, everybody. Corey Niblett. I'm the co-owner of LeviaCore. We do a lot of brand sponsorships and direct activations on the platform. Been around for 6 or 7 years.
I don't know, Trippy. I don't think it's going to die.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the future of
but
what
it's in
Twitch
trouble.
could be, because we've talked about how they can't back out of advertisement. I think it's a little rudderless, to be honest with you. Look at
these
they
are
gave
all
up on
people
commerce
who
really quickly. Amazon's literally the largest commerce
Twitch.
business in the world.
So it's
So
Shannon,
where do they go from
DJ,
here? In my opinion, it's search, right? It's not a platform and it's not a service.
Theo, Afro.
Really, what they need to do is
these
go
guys
back
are
to their
all
technical
the
roots,
original.
which is exactly what Devin was talking about.
Shannon literally made Bleed
and
Purple.
focus on things
that
like
was
clips
literally
and better functionality around them. They're doing nothing with computer vision and
the reason we're
creating
here
moments
right now
that
is
happen
because
outside of
most of
streams
these
when you're
people.
watching it. And they're kind of also competing with brands and with agencies at the same time, because they're doing things like the bounty board, and it's just like every time you turn around, there's kind of like a new direction on Twitch. So from a leadership perspective, absolutely struggling in terms of
I think
what
your asks here kind of contradict. Like, those two things are like, Twitch has been I was on a team that was experimenting with computer vision. They used it for the Overwatch directory, where you could pick a hero and it would find that hero, people who are playing that hero in the game. We experimented with many different ways to use clips, and none of them got far enough or made a compelling enough experience for us to ship. Twitch internally was trying all of these things and shipped many of them without much of response and stopped. I would argue that the lack of commitment in one specific thing, rather trying all these different things and then giving up as soon as they started to feel hard, that was more the pattern I'm seeing. And what's needed is a strong direction and focus that is a clear vision of how Twitch can become a sustainable business. Because the leadership at Twitch before was not focused on making a sustainable business. It was focused on making a sellable business. And then when it sold, there was not a clear path to sustainability from there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you in that aspect. I just think, in terms of computer vision and stuff like that, maybe it was hard,
Twitch
and maybe
Sings
they gave up on it too early, but that's
so back in the day, you used to be able to karaoke
that's
music
probably
on Twitch,
a better
and then they killed
monetization model for them moving forward with
and
Clips
DJ Wheat
Plus or
said
something
he
of that
believes
nature.
it's coming
There's
back.
so much content that's missed by a viewer on Twitch every day that they're not able to watch, even though they're watching 100+ hours, on average per stream. And the content is just absolutely not discoverable from a VOD perspective, and it never has been.
Do you think you watch
maybe that's something that they don't care
hours
about, right? But the reality is you can run ads on VOD content and not live content, and probably make significantly more.
I don't even stream for 100+ hours
if you make that shift.
And what you would accomplish by doing that is actually providing a monetization method to streamers for doing things offline. what you would get out of this vicious cycle of forcing Twitch streamers into 200 to 250 hour contracts, right? Because they've got to stream so much just to monetize their own platform, because everything is monetizable on live.
About how we're
like
dying.
I know the head of the former person that made the clips thing is in my Discord, and it's like a great example where he basically was like kind of a one person shop, and although clips were just like dominating as like a method of being shared, Twitch allowed that to go outsourced to Reddit, and that became like live stream fail and like all this different Reddits that streamers go to every single day. Whereas like Twitch could have focused on building a product internally with like a simple upvote system and a comment system to get people to actually live on the website, which they could then run ads against, to your point. And that would have been so much more successful, and not even like that difficult to do. But the word you used, rudderless, is so good, because it's just like the executive team, like there'll be these good ideas from like legitimate PMs, hardworking people that care. Like, understand that most of the people at Twitch to this day, they really care about like making the product good and like making the site good. Like, they actually do. Like, I talk to them every week, they actually do. The problem is the executive team doesn't give a shit. So when these things actually go up to them, if it gets pitched to the executive team, they go, yeah, like that sounds great. Like we'll like to see that happen. And then at Amazon's level, Amazon says we'll justify it by how it gets us more Amazon Prime subscriptions. And if you can't do that, sorry, it's not going to work. And that's why I think clips didn't take off.
Get Amazon subscriptions?
I can say personally speaking, like I watched this happen. I quit Twitch because I wanted to build better tools for creators, and they wouldn't let me. Started building Ping, just kind of like Zoom for streamers, make it easy to get a guest into your show. And as soon as we got into Y Combinator, they started copying us like immediately. And Guest Star exists not because the creators need it, because they do, and they have for a while. Guest Star exists because Twitch is scared of us treading on their ground. And it is so crazy to see that the only way to make Twitch do something is to scare them with like an immediate business loss that comes with a sentiment loss.
Yeah, like that's the only reason why the gambling announcement just came out, right? Like, was because 10 zillion publications came to Twitch and said, "Hey, we're going to make pieces about this, and if you don't actually move on this or do something, then like it's going to look horrible, and advertisers are going to pull out." Like the motivations within Twitch, like there doesn't seem to be a lot of executive leadership that's thinking forward and saying, okay, like what does our platform look like in 2 years? What does our platform look like in 3 years? And again, I think it's because of the incentive system that was set up at higher levels at Amazon that was like, hey, just figure out how to get us more Twitch Prime. So you saw a lot of money that was going into like initiatives to do that. And for a while, some of them, like Twitch Student, I was a part of for a while, that was like really effective at like going into collegiate. But you just have to ask, like, where's the ROI on these projects? Like, how many hundreds of millions of dollars were spent on these like weird initiatives that had nothing to do with creators, that didn't like go like actually go back and address the core of it? Yeah,
they hired an entire game dev team. They hired an entire game dev team because they thought that another game studio would build it for us. They wouldn't. So we hired a bunch of C# devs to build a video game, realized it was not a sustainable thing, and then trained them all on other frameworks so they could actually contribute to the website. It was such a disaster.
Yeah, and like there's so many stories like that. It's just like, why? Like they've got all this money at this point after this Amazon acquisition that they could put back into creator initiatives. They could feed into the core business model, which is these creators, is the people listening to this right now. And then instead, they just don't. They do all this weird bullshit that like doesn't have any ROI.
But you ask now, they'll say no.
They tried to be so many different things at once. They tried to. They're like, okay,
but
it made it more affordable if you cancel sub, use Prime instead.
Really generic as to not get.
Yeah, I don't know, Rude MK, if you have 70/30, but I don't.
That at one point,
and that's because they canceled all the contracts.
Someone from Amazon basically said, "Why aren't you taking?"
And basically.
Like
what DJ Weed is saying is it was they weren't allowed to tell partners, but if you had asked partner help, they would have gave it to you.
The thing that's interesting,
but you had to ask; they would never offer it to you.
Like they took every wrong risk that they possibly.
You could have been earning 20% more.
I think that there were a lot of other risks that we could have taken that would have been really, really beneficial to creators, the platform, etc. And not to go into any specific details, but
I think it's true, Spanner.
I laugh when I hear you say
there
all
are gatekeepers
that stuff, because I think that was a byproduct of, in some cases,
trust me,
Amazon
as somebody who
saying,
is
like,
NDA to hell and back,
right?
I can't tell you everything that I know.
To do, and
but believe me,
just
there's a lot of asking you have
great
to do.
Ideas.
Yeah, to that point, I feel like, any good business leader is going to look at their failures and they're going to figure out how to learn from them. And I guess all of us are just kind of wondering, like, how many more have to exist in a 7 or 8 year period before we start actually seeing some improvement and some things take off.
I don't know that. I wonder if that ship has sailed. Like, I think at this point, the YouTube gaming is such a competitive offer. So we've been looking at this is a sneak peek for something I'm putting out pretty soon. We've been tracking every day all of Ninja's statistics for his multi-streaming thing. So basically, the story behind that is that Ninja. I'm not using any like insider information. I'm speculating on this. I'm guessing that Ninja didn't get offered a paid contract because his contract renewed, I believe, about a month ago. And he probably didn't get offered a paid contract from Twitch. Regardless, he decided
I would
to
bet that it was a number that he was insulted by is just as likely. Like, knowing his temper, he could have just been like, "Oh, I would rather go on every platform than accept that deal."
Yeah, Devin, the offers have been extremely horrible, and the words that I'm hearing are that people are getting insulted and they're being driven to other platforms.
You and I are in the same business, my friend. I'm getting the exact same compensation on our end. Yep, like insane streaming hours, like the insultingly low offers. Yeah, 100% same page.
But I mean, that's not surprising to you, right? Devin, certainly it's not surprising to you. Corey, I have to feel like it's not surprising to you.
No, it's absolutely not surprising. I mean, let's be real. Like, any business wants to pay as little as they can for as much as they can get. Like, it's absolutely, like, totally fair. I think the thing that irritated me the most from the announcement today was the justification of cost. Like, literally, Amazon owns the bandwidth, the data.
Pet. How's it going?
Literally every single piece of that infrastructure. So to try and like pawn off some type of
Nuggets, how you doing?
As some type of operating expense,
welcome to Steve
was
listens
probably
to
like the worst possible
Twitch employees talk
about
like somehow that Twitch is in trouble.
The PR filter of like, do we not realize that we have the largest internet infrastructure in the entire world? Like
we were going to catch that. Like, we were going to catch that. Like, oh yeah, let's use the IVS customer costs that we charge customers. It's like going to a restaurant and being like, yo, this burger costs $15, so we're going to raise it to $15.
We talked about this a bit earlier. The difference between that actual cost and what like customers are paying is not as big as a lot of people seem to think. Like,
it's bigger
the cost
than they say
of running. It's bigger than they say it is, but it's smaller than I would have thought. And it's like, even if you cut the number that you see there by a 1/10, we're still talking about, like, just last year from hours watched alone, like $400 million to deal with the 26 billion hours of minutes watched on Twitch.
Okay,
like, it is very expensive.
Pass that cost on to creators. It's not their fault.
Absolutely. They need to fix this by building a sustainable way. Like their finances, Twitch's finances do not scale with their costs right now. When more viewers show up and more people watch more content, their bills get larger and their income doesn't get larger in alignment with that because their ad platform sucks. It was Twitch's responsibility to build an ad platform in order to make their infrastructure sustainable, and their failure to do that has them bleeding so hard that they're nickel and diming the way that they are now. But I don't think that's a failure of the infrastructure's cost. I think that's a failure of the recognition that for an infrastructure to be that expensive, you need a profit that scales.
They expected the streamers you watch
that cost really
to sell you
the
Amazon Prime
benefits of driving Prime,
and I don't feel like that's what we do.
All of the additional things.
I don't feel like I'm here to sell you Amazon Prime.
Is it real? Like, is it really?
That's not something that I've ever.
I mean,
how many Prime conversions do we really think Twitch drove?
Well,
how many people here were like, I'm going to sign up
apparently
for Amazon
that's the directive
Prime
that Amazon
just so
is
I can give
Twitch,
my free subscription to Hassan Abi.
We have
maybe a few
to drive Prime.
All right, like
our
maybe
job.
a few, but I think that most of those decision makers are
it's not
like
my
the
job
parents of
to
those
drive
people,
Twitch Prime,
or people that are
in
different economic positions. That's not a driver for them to get Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I think the Prime ship sailed in year 1, year 2. I would imagine the fall off's pretty big at this point. Either you have Prime at this point, or you don't. You've made that decision, or you haven't. The real question is how many Office 365 subscriptions converted into Mixer subscriptions. Sorry.
Damn.
Because of the free shipping. Yeah.
I'm wearing my Mixer hat now as we speak.
So can we real quick, can we revisit this? I just want to drop some crazy numbers here, right? So this Ninja thing, right? The reason why this is important is if we're looking at the way that creators are thinking about like what platforms they're staying on right now, Ninja is a herald for what I think a lot of broadcasters are going to realize. So what happened over the past couple of weeks with the Ninja multi-stream? He increased his total viewership by 70%. And I can't say how much revenue that he earned because I'm not in his camp, but he's getting donations from TikTok. He's getting donations from YouTube. And what a lot of people don't understand is that those are effectively separate audiences. Those are not the same audience. So that's actually 70% more people on those other platforms that are now consuming his content that wouldn't be otherwise. And what does it really cost him to drop Twitch partnership? More and more creators are going to make the decision, like, man, if I'm not getting a good competitive paid offer, I'm going to multi-stream.
Devin, so first of all, huge fan of the idea and concept, right? Like, as creators, this is syndication on a level that technology allows it to happen, and it is amazing that it can happen. However, everything that you said is true for a small percentage of creators.
Yeah, this conversation is live. It's happening right now on Twitter.
I don't
That's why we're listening to it.
Or who can be flexible enough and already have diversified income coming in
to where that can be
a successful move. And so I mean,
so
really, I guess it's a question.
It shouldn't be my job or MK's job to sell Graham Prime. It's not this or really or rude.
Any difficulty, like, can someone
make Graham want to use Amazon?
Hold on, I'm gonna absolutely.
So the question is, like, how
I have all this data.
Is the group of people that can actually do what Ninja's doing? Like, maybe this paves a way for a world where many more people can do it, right? A service on top of this that aggregates all that shit, makes it really easy to convert. But if I've got 250 viewers and I make just enough to, like, take care of business, I got a cheap rent, etc. Like,
don't say that too loud, Cypher. They're likely to cancel my channel.
If you are a broadcaster right now, if you are a creator, no matter what your size is, full stop, it is better to multi-stream if you don't have a Twitch paid contract. Full stop. If you are not getting paid by Twitch to be there. If you don't have a Twitch paid contract, because there is clearly then no consequence for doing that. If you are a streamer with 100 viewers, say, or to use your example, 250 viewers, it is objectively better for you to multi-stream. And I can go through the whole reasons why if you want.
If you don't have a Twitch, or excuse me, if
Twitch
you don't have a monetizable,
you should not be exclusive to them at this point. If
Twitch, and
the people that they're paying to be exclusive is a very small percentage.
We're still under contract, though.
Like the top 200 creators right now.
As a person who was incredibly skeptical of this particular point, I have studied it actively. I have tried it myself. Devin is correct here. This is the sad truth. Like, accepting an affiliate or partner deal on Twitch is something you do because you want to, not something you do to boost your career and yourself as a creator.
There's been a ton of arguments.
You used to do it for a purple hoodie, right, and a check mark and a status, and it was cool. But right now, it's working against you.
So let's look at this like here, right? So there's a ton of arguments that are made, and they're all subjective. There's stuff like, oh, it's going to dilute your community out, like you're not going to be able to respond to anybody in chat. There's no evidence of this happening. So, like, the real answer here is that, like, Twitch discovery is literally nada for anyone that isn't a king of the website already. So if you are a small broadcaster,
they're not wrong about that.
Your concern is not revenue. That's a big misunderstanding. Like Twitch focused on this for years. Their main focus was, we want to bring in more revenue per unit for broadcasters. That's an admirable goal, but the problem that small creators have is discoverability. Nobody's watching them. Go through any of the main categories right now in League of Legends or Fortnite or just chatting. Scroll down and no one's going to find you. So
I get discovery, this, Devin, but I'm talking about, there is absolutely a class of streamers that to give up their Twitch revenue to be able to accomplish this would be absolutely devastating to them.
That is the risk.
It's kind of like that whole concept of,
that, or you sit on Twitch and die because you will never get discovered and no one will ever come and watch you beyond the people that are actually in your existing community. How many streamers right now on this phone call are sitting here with dying viewership, gaining no followers because they have no methodology of discovery? That is what
I literally polled my audience on Twitch like last week, and over 70% of my Twitch audience came from YouTube. Not even like, they didn't even know I was live on Twitch. They knew I was live on Twitch because they saw my announcement about it on YouTube. And I'm a Twitch streamer much more than I am a YouTuber. Like, this is entirely true.
Is
Twitch
YouTube
is
that important?
When you fully commit to Twitch, you are setting a ceiling on where you're at. If you're comfortable with that ceiling and you're comfortable living at like 70% of where you are, sure. But if you want to keep growing, that does not happen on Twitch right now.
Just so I'm clear, what you are both saying is that you think that risking like the only source of financial stability is worth it to go multi-stream, because
I don't think it's stable enough to be considered stable. I would argue that the risk you're taking by going multi-platform is less than the risk you're taking on the unstable foundation that is subscriptions on Twitch.
Yep, exactly right.
That's the saddest thing I've heard. Like, there's so many other monetization opportunities on these platforms and with third-party tools.
Shouldn't have to go to another website to find what streamers
you
like
can have
here.
a Discord bot at this point manage subscriptions.
I mean,
you can have
just
do
reading what
Instagram
Fleabag
you can go to Patreon and get 90%,
doesn't that break your heart?
of the total split of revenue instead of 50%. Right? Like the diversification is just here is the actual truth. This is what's going on. Okay.
I don't want to have to push out to YouTube, but
they're afraid to make this move because they've existed on Twitch in a certain way. This is a classic case of old blood doing something a certain way, not realizing that technology has moved on, that syndication is here now, diversification is here now, and the opportunities for discoverability on TikTok Live are way superior to any on Twitch. The opportunities for discovery on YouTube through automatic search and host are way superior to anything on Twitch. They are not making these moves because they have lived in a certain way, monetized in a certain way, and they're afraid to make this move, but it's absolutely what they need to do to survive.
Through organic means, or did you all go through raids?
Yep, and they're used to a platform where the extra effort doesn't go anywhere. Like, you can go way harder on Twitch and not grow at all.
What about
whereas on almost every other platform, what you put in is what you get out in a much more immediate way.
I think you are.
You found me through Twitter.
I'm going to be totally blunt with you, Devin. I think like you are speaking from a place of privilege.
No, I'm speaking from a place of data, DJ Wheat. You don't know this data. I have it all in my YouTube videos. I have hundreds of creators who have multi-streamed successfully.
Data is great, but it's not a guarantee for someone who's kind of barely scraping by.
There are no guarantees in the business world.
Chill, guys. Chill.
Time in order to do it, right? Like, all I'm suggesting is, dude, I love multi-streaming. Let me make it really fucking clear. I wish everyone could do it. I wish that there was a guaranteed way that you could aggregate all of your finances and it becomes really easy to manage and you don't have to add extra things to your work. But I'm all for it. It's great. But I think like the underlying point is to truly achieve multi-streaming with the data that you have that supports it, you have to give up, right? That Twitch piece. And so it's just like I think a big ask for a lot of people that, maybe aren't as financially stable as those who can consider themselves top 20 streamers. And, I'm getting a fuckload of messages right now that are like, yes, Wheat, exactly. Thank you. This is it. Right. I mean, so all I'm saying, Devin, I love it. Multi-streaming. Yes, absolutely. But I do realistically think there is a class of creator out there that is 100% not in a situation where they can feel comfortable doing that.
I don't feel comfortable doing that.
So there's between the people who can't feel comfortable and it's too big a risk, guys. Super quick, because can I really quickly try to bridge the gap, Devin? Because I agreed with Wheat until about a year ago, and I want to try and translate from like someone who shifted their perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
Here.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so I totally agreed for so long because I saw like I had access to numbers I probably shouldn't have and saw how much money even like medium-sized creators were making if they could be live regularly, get an audience that was subscribed and resubscribing and maintain that. But there are so many risks associated with that too.
I had
if you
access
get
to
sick,
data
or you have technical problems, they can't stream for a week, or something absolutely insane happens, or you have mental health issues and you're super burnt out. Like, you are committing to, like, it's not just you're giving up this thing that's inherent. It's you're doing this thing every day to maintain it. You always are at the risk of losing it. And the way you reduce that risk is by expanding the amount you have coming in and diversifying the ways in which you're getting a return. And Twitch does not help with that at all. And the amount of money you make as a sub 100 concurrent viewer streamer is small enough that it is, in almost all circumstances, worth the risk to, at the very least, try and move them over to Patreon first before you make the move, then rescind your contract, move to multi-streaming, and do your best to blow up other places. Because you're not in a sustainable place right now if you are that scared of losing your Twitch revenue. You're already at a huge risk. You have to take the steps necessary to be at less of a risk. And the growth I have seen from creators that have been stagnant on Twitch for years, the second they start co-streaming on YouTube and TikTok is insane. And that is the thing that so many people aren't getting, that they absolutely like. And my biggest concern is, I agree, there's a lot of people that aren't in a position where they can take this risk, but there are way more that think they are, that really need to be doing it. And for every one person that thinks they shouldn't be doing this, there's 9 who should.
There's also way more that don't have the support system to stretch themselves any more than
I love my community. We're sub 100. I don't care.
Multi-streaming, and I know we're going to get technology like this will evolve over time, as all things do. Someone's going to build the amazing thing that just makes it together. Boom, you do this. Every creator is going to be like, holy shit. At the end of the day, though, there is still a wall that exists, and that is Twitch and kind of flexible but not really approach in terms of exclusivity. And so look, all I'm going to say on this behalf, because we clearly, I think, agree across the board. I'm just trying to represent a voice of streamer that I heard from a lot over the 10 years that I was at Twitch, and I really do empathize and understand the situation. So, hopefully I've represented them. But what I ultimately, I think that if Twitch really,
I don't know that I'd ever go to Patreon.
Really wanted to do what was best for creators, I do think that they drop that and give creators the chance to flourish regardless, right?
That would solve the problem that you're talking about.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I'm sure there's fears of like revenue loss and user loss and whatever, but no, look at these sites. Your data.
But they're right about one thing.
Devin, right?
Like
each
MK and I could go
communities.
make YouTube channels.
They have some crossover, but it's not.
But we can't stream at the same time. We would have to alternate.
And there is representation.
One night you're on Twitch, or even the same day. One stream you're on Twitch, one stream you're on YouTube. That's a lot of work.
Of creators to benefit from live streaming. I think that is the thing that has to happen. Right. And I don't think you'd see an exodus because people like to use Twitch. I think might actually see even more people give Twitch a shot while simultaneously other people say, okay, I would give YouTube or YouTube or Facebook or TikTok. Or
I'd agree with you, Irish.
Okay. Why do you think that Twitch is hanging on tooth and nail to this exclusivity? It's almost as if they didn't have it. It would be a massive
MK, did you get the email
to their
today?
business model, because people would realize
a bunch of us are getting invited to
I can tell you exactly why, right?
a Twitch seminar on how to do YouTube videos better.
100%.
That's the weirdest thing I heard.
Twitch is the best.
I haven't seen this email personally, but I saw people posting about it. I don't understand why Twitch would do that. Why do they want us to make YouTube?
I'll die on the hill and say yes, not for the creator, but for the viewer. It is still the best experience I have watching and consuming live content, and I wish they would bet on that more. I genuinely do.
Right, if that changes, they don't want to happen. So real quick on this issue of like multi-streaming syndication, things like that. Okay, we have a unique opportunity here that there are thousands of people listening, and thank you for everybody that is giving us this platform.
Yeah, I want to see the email.
I want to speak directly to the creators. There are hundreds of you, maybe thousands, that I have talked to over the years that are in this position.
I don't know.
Okay, you've been streaming on Twitch for 2, 4, 5 years. You had an initial growth period. You got up to 500.
He said he popped off only after he started making
top creators. That's a different
videos?
situation. To Marcus's point, which is 100% right. We cannot make decisions based on the top 20 to 50 creators. They're on a totally different ecosystem. Maybe they should stay on Twitch. Maybe they shouldn't. Who cares? Let's talk to the actual creators who are the core and like the mid-sized to small-sized creators that are trying to make it on Twitch right now. They are sitting at 200 concurrent viewers, 500 concurrent viewers, 1,000. They look at their active follow accounts on Social Blade and they see -10, -8, -5. They are not growing. Do not listen to anyone that tells you to do the safe thing and sit on Twitch through that process. What you need to do is take a fucking risk. It is that is what business is about. Business is about taking risks and doing things that are scary so that you can increase your total profit, your total footprint. What you need to do is go diversify onto YouTube, start figuring out how to make different kinds of content, start using other platforms, start converting users over to more effective systems. You cannot sit on Twitch and die. That is what will happen. Those follower counts won't get better. Twitch won't solve the problem for you. In the business world, you have to be responsible for your own success. Nobody is going to look out for you. Do not do the safe thing and sit there. You will fail.
Yeah.
That's some strong language.
Yeah, risks are good. I took some risks in my life. I'm really happy I took them. Like they're great. But
you're taking a risk by staying is the part that I think that we're not like focused on enough. Like by staying,
I feel like you're talking from this perspective as if like these people that exist are like they don't use YouTube and they don't use TikTok, right? Like they absolutely do. They're using Patreon.
No, they sit on Twitch for dude. I like back at you when you're saying like because you know how much respect we have for each other, but bro, you didn't build a Twitch stream from the ground up like I did, and like a lot of these creators did. You were a director at Twitch, you had a job, you had a salary.
Dude,
so
are you fucking kidding me right
yeah,
now,
100%.
Devin? Are you hold on? Are you actually kidding?
That's not helpful.
Is me doing it before?
As a person who looked up to Wheat before he had a job at Twitch, I think that was a bit unfair.
He knows the content game, but he hasn't been in the game for a long time.
Like,
I know he hasn't. And can I, guys, chill? Both of you chill. Can I try and bridge the gap here again? Can I chill? Both. Can I try?
This is what
like I as someone who like I'm muting everybody. Sorry. As someone who respects the shit out of both of you, there's a bridge being missed here that I really want to cover. There is an actual risk being taken that Weed is very reasonably concerned about. But as we know, the game has changed. You're not streaming for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. You're streaming for 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know like one of my employees at my company is on the grind because he got raided recently by somebody in the GTA scene and he wants partner so badly. And like what it takes to do that is absurd. That's just how it is every day on Twitch now. The best advice I ever heard Devin give that has been like foundational to how I run my company now was the advice that if you're streaming for however long, however many days a week, end an hour early and spend that time doing literally anything else on any other platform. Go edit a video, go make a TikTok, go make a nice thumbnail and post it somewhere. Do literally anything else because that's where you're going to find growth. Twitch is not a place where you find growth. It's a place where like the time you spend in Twitch isn't spent growing your audience. It's spent getting everything you can out of your current one as it slowly dies off. It is a huge risk to let that continue to slowly taper when you could do other things and build a bigger safety net in order to take that risk. Start moving your subs off Twitch to Patreon if you can. Start incentivizing people to join your Discord and mailing lists and other things to be in touch with them. Prepare for the worst. And then when you're prepared, all of a sudden, you can take the types of risks Devin is talking about. I agree, a lot of people can't take these risks right now, but they should be trying their goddamn hardest to put themselves in a position where they can, because these risks are necessary to maintain growth on these platforms.
Word, yeah, Devin. Dude, I love you, Devin. It's all good. I mean, honestly, we agree. Like, I'm for all of these risks. I just want to make sure that every voice is represented here. Like, yeah, if I thought someone could easily multi-stream and go like 1,000%, I think what Pokey did and what Ninja are doing, I think it is groundbreaking. I think that it's really awesome to see it in the space. I do wish that there was a capability by all creators. I think that, there are so many creators that are doing exactly what you, Devin, and you, Theo, are preaching. Like, they're trying. They're giving it a shot. But what Devin's suggesting is also, like, the ultimate, commitment. And, I think that's scary.
I mean, that's why I'm listening to this right now, Rocker.
Not going that
is
way.
because I kind of do wonder if Twitch went away, or if Twitch banned me,
you guys are saying,
or Twitch took away my ambassador.
Ultimately, you can test content on multiple
Would I
platforms.
lose it all?
When you read the fine print and really
would the spawn zone collapse
of exclusivity, you can absolutely test your content on other platforms without any type of repercussions. You don't have to jump off that cliff.
I don't have a plan for if Twitch went under.
Multiple places. And Wheat, to your point, one of the reasons that creators are suffering as much as they are is the discoverability of them sucks. And I know we've talked about that, and kind of getting it back to Twitch and why it might be dying is they're not making investments.
I
can't tell you how many sponsorships and how many streams we do where we find really talented people at the bottom of the directory struggling to get to the top. And sometimes the only way to
There's
get
a
them
lot
up
of
there
great
is a
streamers
Twitch
out there
drop,
who don't
or,
have
getting
1,000
them
viewers
some type
every
of
night.
brand sponsorship or social media shout out or something. The diversity and representation of the platform
Appreciate
is
that, Plat.
absolutely abysmal. There's a ton of technical investments that Twitch can make to solve that problem, but they're so busy chasing their tail that they can't figure out which one they want to solve first.
Yeah, I think that
Catch
we're
me on
coming
MySpace
closer
next
to an
week.
agreement, and I don't want to come off as a dick and say that like Marcus hasn't been, because I've said that in so many YouTube videos, and I'll say it again here. Marcus is instrumental in the creation of what Twitch is today, and pretty much at some point, at least as far as I know, was one of the only people fighting for creators that like him and the partnerships team and the OGs when like this executive team shit was going. So what Marcus is doing is like his goal within Twitch, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to speak for you, was to enable creators to have more opportunities and be more full-time on Twitch. And you succeeded fantastically at that goal. And like for your duration there, that I think what I'm saying is, and like you kind of have to take what Marcus is saying and what I'm saying and come to the level of risk that is acceptable for you as an individual to do it, right? I'm the crazy guy. It's like, throw it, jump off the cliff, take it down, motivation, let's go.
Just like Loco just said.
At least he recognizes
that
that's
may
how
not,
he
like,
is.
you might actually do that, and guess what? You lose your entire ass. You're totally out. You're like, well, Devin just ended my life. Like, right? Like, so, like, that's a total possibility. But I think you have to take what we're both saying and then say, what is right for me to do? Do I need to diversify onto something like YouTube? Because, like, maybe that one YouTube video that goes viral is my shot. Whereas if I'm just streaming on Twitch, like, for 50 more years, like, I can't get that kind of opportunity because to Corey's point, the growth just isn't there from a technological standpoint. And take what we're both saying and then make a decision based on what you personally have your risk tolerance for, but realize that like the writing is on the wall for Twitch, which I think both Marcus and I are saying.
I got a DM that I have to call out. I'm not going to call out the person, and I really want you to take this as an opportunity to reflect. Somebody went on a long rant about how we don't understand the struggles of a 30 to 60 viewer streamer that can barely make rent, and they have to stream every single day to make sure they can. And Twitch won't do anything. Can't get front page, can't get a break, doing all the social media hustle. Okay, we have now identified the problem. It is this in particular. The people are sitting on Twitch waiting for Twitch to snap their fingers and give them a break, as though that's how they're going to get out of the situation they're in. That isn't going to fucking happen. And so many people have convinced themselves that it is. And if they just stream for 2 more hours every day and 1 more day a week, somehow it will go. It won't. You need to put that time into other platforms. I'm not saying stop streaming. I'm not even saying stop streaming on Twitch. What we are specifically saying is do what is necessary to put yourself in a position where you can grow externally, because you will not find magic growth on Twitch. If you did before, that's awesome, but you need to put yourself in a position where your growth is controlled by you.
I mean, at that point, that should be the opening paragraph of streaming or creating 101. Just period, end of story. It's kind of a universal truth. I think every creator already understands that and knows. So are there absolutely creators out there that are probably procrastinating and not doing it?
I don't know, Shad. This
100%.
affects you as much as it does me.
They don't know how to organize, right? Like
do
that's
you really want to see
they are
your
convincing them.
creators
This is like
streaming elsewhere
the
as
problem
well?
is they're not like even thinking it through. They're convincing themselves, if I just sit on Twitch for 10 hours straight, that is enough. That is the work they're doing. They aren't putting themselves in a position where they can even think these things through, because they're brain dead by the end of their stream every day.
And because the truth is that like nobody wants to talk about, okay, clicking the start streaming button on OBS is pretty easy to do. Making a script, making a video, making a storyline, making something interesting, or let's just take it from live streaming, going and watching your own tape. Go talk to any smaller creator and say, do you watch your own tape? No, I hate watching myself. Bro, if you hate watching yourself, how are you going to actually have anybody else want to watch you, right? Like the techniques that you need to do that we're talking about on this call that are what they're afraid to do. And that's why I think it is so important to actually like take risk, build new skills, go out and actually like script something, write a storyline, write something that's interesting, make a story on a 15-minute video from start to end that concerns the content that you're doing. And then you've got something you can talk about on your live stream. You've got something that you can actually refer to on your live stream. You've got a piece of you that exists that is outside of just when you're live and people watching you. That's the kind of stuff you've got to do to succeed in this ecosystem. It's no longer possible, if it ever was, to go start a Twitch stream up, sit there, and then just gain viewers that come in from the directory.
Well, if I can I add a perspective on this from the brand side? When I first started doing this, 6 years ago or so, there were dozens of people DMing and shooting their shot with brands, right? I hardly see it anymore, right? I can't tell you how many times we've seen Loco and people like that put out guidance like, put your pitch deck together, shoot your shot with a brand, make something for them and send it to them, get a sponsorship or generate income some other way than waiting on Twitch to do it for you. Like, you really got to market yourself.
I will not do
yourself.
reels,
It
I
doesn't
promise.
matter if you have 30 viewers. There are brands that I work with that will go after 30 viewer streamers. Like it's not all about your audience size. It's about the type of content that you're making and the type of approach that you're taking with that content.
Unfortunately, I think not only you speak truth, but
I think that's why
really
a lot of us, including me, are scared.
I'm being a little biased here, but like this was work that I wish that I could have done more of at Twitch. Is that like there is a clear lack of knowledge and experience in even good business practice and content production that exists in the streamer space, and I wish that even maybe before diversifying, some of these individuals would consider, trying to just master their craft in other ways, whether that is marketing or whether that is better understanding production, learning how to make other videos, and right, like that also is a space that is incredibly lacking. And right now, nowadays, it's so easy, right? Official, go to a school, online, whatever. I don't know what you all think about this. I think that it is definitely probably one of the things that would help with people understanding, okay, great, how do I take all the time to manage that, to be able to accomplish all the things that like Theo, Devin, Corey just mentioned that I should do.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think some education in that space is great. If you can afford it, for some people, it's, if you're just getting started and you're trying to transition to this, it's really hard. I absolutely understand people just sitting around kind of waiting on the platform to give them their star moment. But, if I see anything with the smaller creators that, I find really interesting, it's like they're embracing their weird and they're making content around
it. Your weird.
Not to give any like shout outs or anything, but like, Cardboard Cowboy, like holy shit, like what a weird, funny, hilarious stream. Like the guy literally makes like animations with cardboard and like the whole theme is like cardboard. Castlehead wears an entire like fake persona. Like I can't tell you how many weird and interesting things that people are passionate about that we've been able to find and like take it to a brand and be like, holy crap, like can you imagine like working out a deal with this, right? And I just feel like people need to embrace their skill and what it is that they're passionate about, and find a creative niche to kind of get there. And kind of pointing it back on Twitch and the tech, and they really do need to be a tech innovator, and the way to do that is to help people that are making unique content like that become more discoverable, right? Like there's so much stuff that happens on Twitch every day that I miss. Do you know how much I would love to see or know or be informed about, like when something happened on a stream that while I was away, right? And that back to what we were talking about earlier, Theo, with like computer vision, not to like be persistent about it, but like it works. Like we did a campaign recently, I'm not going to say the game, where we captured every stream in the directory, right? And we harvested about 50 moments in each stream that happened. It was about 4 terabytes of content that was generated when a multi-kill or a triple kill or something happened. And we fed that back to the creators that were streaming in the directory. And we said, hey, do you want to make content with
extremely creepy.
Do you want to make additional content with the pieces of content that we just clipped for you? Well, here you go. You can now make social media pieces about it, or you can make a YouTube recap. There's so much
watching every stream
and innovation that Twitch is uniquely positioned to do. And it just really feels like they've given up on the technological innovation of their platform. And at this point, they're more interested in the business innovation of their platform.
I had no idea that was a thing, Rude.
I just want to kind of add, Theo, you said that you had a DM from someone who was like a 30 viewer streamer and that you wanted to address all those things. It actually is kind of funny that my job that I was hired for at Twitch back in 2015 was for a role they created. And there was certain people, some of who are, I don't know if they're still in this chat, but who advocated very heavily for the creation of this role. And it was the community manager of education. This was something that didn't exist prior to that point in time. This is post Amazon buyout. And this was still when there were so many higher ups at Twitch that cared deeply about supporting the community in ways that were, low cost to build, but then also really high payback. And this is exactly that kind of thing. Yes, okay, you're not gonna, as a smaller viewer streamer, you're not going to need to expect that Twitch is just going to make your channel successful overnight. It's not going to happen that way. That's not realistic. But what is realistic is potentially for Twitch to support the community in ways that is educational. So providing a platform where there are articles that can help you understand how to market yourself, how to build a brand, how to do a lot of those things that we're only starting to see some people create
I have no idea,
now.
Chirpy.
Well, not now, but in the last few years,
At the
ever
moment,
since that idea basically died.
I'm listening to this,
The
and
reality is that
that's what
as
we're
much
doing
as
right
it was
now.
a lovely idea, I was working for Twitch for 2 years. And in that time, I created wireframes for that platform. I wrote up tech documents and business plans and everything, and we just never got approved, which was so stupid. The role was literally created
We did so
to
too.
make this site, and it
We
was supposed to be the help
we reached our
Twitch.tv
50,000.
site, but like better and much more expanded and much more supportive to getting people more information to build a successful career rather than just here's how you press go live. And it just never happened, to the point where, eventually it was part of the reason why I did eventually quit. So it's funny that we did initially see those kinds of really innovative, easy, low cost ways of supporting the community, and those have all but died. And now we're seeing creators make content and careers out of that kind of content, like out of those educational bits of information that can help other creators be lifted up and build a career for themselves. So it's just really ironic. And I hope that, if that 30 viewer streamer is still listening, maybe go check out some of those other creators that do create content for free and also paid, yes, but there is a lot. And actually, Devin has loads of it on his YouTube channel. Sorry for the plug.
Oh, thank you. I think
they're good React videos. Everyone, you should totally watch them.
React, dude. Weed's coming at me with the
I've
React.
never really understood React videos.
As in, I love to watch those videos on my stream. So
Thank you so much. Oh, they're good videos too. React, yeah.
Yes,
yes. Yeah, I know. We still got to get a show together ourselves, man. Like, That'd be awesome.
Thinking after what Loco said, I'm like, I am the dad and you're the uncle. Like, it's just
have I earned my right to moderate?
Listen, kid,
yeah,
get off your fucking ass and go multi-stream. And I'm like, well, you should really think this through, son.
Yeah,
I want to go to the club. I want to take the risk.
I'm going to drop out of here, but Theo, again, huge shout out. Thanks for putting this space together. I think it's been really informative for a lot of people. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come up and speak.
Of course. Thank you for stopping by.
Dude, thanks for being here. You're a badass. I'll shoot you
Corey.
I know I've run into you a bunch of times. We should connect.
Yeah, you guys have a good one. Tomorrow when we wake up and there's an apology and we messed up and we all realize this was some type of troll bullshit trial balloon, let's all just agree not to be happy about it.
You spoke, we listened, right?
Yeah, you're a hero. We listened to you. All right, see you guys later. Thanks again so much.
Peace. There's one more piece of misinfo I'm seeing a lot in my DMs right now, which are absolutely fucking chaos. I'm sorry to anybody who thinks that that's a way to get a hold of me still, because it was for years and no longer is. Yeah, sorry for that. But this one piece of info that keeps coming back is, if Twitch fixed the algorithm, everything would be fine. No, absolutely fucking not. That's not how this works. The problem is the nature of how people engage with these platforms. When I go to TikTok, I scroll through. In one 10-minute session of me sitting there, I impress on and watch dozens of different creators' TikToks. When I'm on Twitter and I scroll through the feed, I might see hundreds of different people's tweets. When I go to YouTube, I scroll through 20 or so thumbnails. I click one and then maybe watch, or maybe like let that refer or recommend like 4 other videos. I'll maybe see 20 people's thumbnails and 3 to 4 people's videos. On Twitch, you show up on a channel page. The average Twitch session doesn't start on the homepage. It starts on a channel page. Somebody goes to a specific channel and they hang out there for a while. And maybe, just maybe, if they're around when it ends, they might raid into somewhere else for a little bit. So the average number of channels a Twitch session views is like 1.2. It's just not a sustainable growth vector, because the way that live engagement works, it's not easy or very pleasant experience to dip into many different streams in one session. The way that discovery works is places where there are lots of small engagements in one session. Twitch isn't that. Could Twitch build something that is that? Yes, but that's a fundamentally different product, and then they'd still have to build an algorithm. The point I'm trying to make is you can't map your way out of this one. You need to take advantage of platforms that have different engagement methods if you want a successful discovery platform.
I just wanted to say that that's 100% right. Yeah, like and like for people that are listening, like I would encourage you to like go look at TikTok Live and just go see how like crazy it is. Like the people that have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 viewers there, they're not established brands. They're not people that stream every day on the website. They just pop in and they'll have like a weird channel where they're like a lot of people, what they do is they do like little shopping network things. So like a person will have like an egg with a prize in it, and then they'll be like, look at the egg, and like look, and you'll open the egg, and then like people in chat will donate for whatever comes out of the egg. There's like just go like do the research and take the time to actually like go out and look at these platforms and what they're doing. And like to Theo's point, like what is happening on discoverability, there are brands being built overnight on these new platforms that like, and we've literally had a case. Actually, I can think of 2 cases in my just personal community where people were streaming on Twitch to 3 viewers. One guy was streaming on Twitch to 3 viewers. He started up his TikTok Live, 800 viewers. He did nothing else but just start up TikTok Live and did the same thing he was doing on Twitch. Just because, as to Theo's point, the way that the algorithmic discoverability works there is a fundamentally different product than Twitch. Like you owe it to yourselves as creators to go check out these things and to understand them. Just try it and just see what happens.
Yeah, I will say I did the same. I am like a Twitch DGen diehard that has become a YouTuber because I started exploring the platform more, seeing how people were using it. I got into video editing so I could chop my own stuff. And now I'm like one of the more successful software dev YouTubers and streamers because I cared enough to look into how these things work. I was honestly doing it as market research to better understand the spaces we are building.
I had my finger over the ban
we're pivoting our business hard out of live because live is not where like things grow. Live is where you like pull people. I actually have a diagram I drew. Let me find this quick. I know I pinned it earlier, but I call this the viewer monetization funnel. The platforms on top are the ones that have really high numbers of engagements per session with the number of things you engage with in a given session, where you can make less money. So things like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok will never be as profitable as Twitch, and it'll be way harder for you to sell to those people. But if you can funnel them to something like a Discord community or to a live stream or to your OnlyFans, that's the point where you have them like deep enough and you've built that relationship that you can then start to monetize more like deeply from. And so few creators seem to understand what each of these platforms' strengths and weaknesses are and how to build a funnel that pulls people into their networks.
Right. Yeah. So I actually have a similar thing.
I don't understand what I'm doing here.
Draw an ice cream cone. The top of it is a funnel that catches people. Right. These top level platforms are platforms that catch the most amount of possible people. Like Theo said, the most amount of engagements possible come from things like TikTok Live. Are you ever going to be able to monetize as well as you can on Twitch with all their options on TikTok Live? Probably not. Right. There are like unless you're doing some kind of like QVC type direct to shopping thing, it's much harder to do. So what you do is use these platforms as a catch-all. And I think what has got people confused is that previously Twitch was a top of funnel platform. You could use it to get users in to drive towards other things. And nowadays that's no longer true. That's what's changed. And the new kings of that are your TikTok lives, are your short form content. And that's the transition that a lot of creators need to make.
And now randomly Twitter Spaces, because this is what Twitch has driven us to.
Thank you, Lion. How you doing, buddy?
Personally, I've done way too many Twitter Spaces. This is the first time I've seen one blow up like this. It's definitely not the average experience, but when used in the right ways, it's pretty cool. I like this platform a lot. It's been a fun place to hang out.
I say thanks for putting it together. I'm glad I saw it and was able to stop by. And actually, with that, I was saying to myself I was only going to hop on for a moment, but I think it's just a testament to all the individuals who have actually spoken here tonight and answered questions. And I just appreciate all the creators and individuals that even staff at
I think
Twitch
they've
that
run
were
out of
reaching
things
out
to
while
yell
I
about.
happened to be on here. I don't know if any of you had a similar experience, but hey, I appreciate those messages. And I just want to say, Theo, thank you. Uncle Devin, appreciate it. Shannon, Jason, Ben,
Thanks,
John,
Dad.
Afro,
Yeah, that's the live
everyone
space on Twitter.
who contributed here tonight. I do want to throw out one shameless plug. I've got some exciting news I'm going to get to share tomorrow. So, follow me and you can see what that is tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Twitch creators out there, thank you for all of the amazing content that I laugh about and meme about and watch clips of all the time. Appreciate everyone who puts any effort towards the creator ecosystem. Have a great night, everyone. I'm out. Peace.
You're the best, Marcus.
Thank you for being here, man. It's legit.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks
Theo,
so
are
much
we
for taking
gonna
part of the
call it?
conversation always.
I might do the same type of thing. Like I gotta go like get dinner and stuff, and I don't know if you
Yeah.
were planning to tell us or how long you're gonna run it.
Probably worth calling at this point. We should definitely have like a more formal conversation in the near future, Devin, if you're down to plan that. I think that there's a lot to talk about that isn't in an ephemeral Twitter space that will just be like rumored about and watched on Hassan's VOD for the next 2 years.
Yeah, super down and completely agree. And I think there's like a lot of benefit we could have to like a more targeted discussion. I'm down for that 100%. I'm glad we connected.
Totally agree. Quick shout out to Ping. I know I'm plugging my company, but y'all don't understand how hard it is to build for creators because y'all don't fucking buy shit. So if you're interested in doing collab content stuff or talking about that, we're going to be at TwitchCon. I have our like most recent tweet pinned up there if you want to take a look at us. And yeah, check us out. We're building some really cool stuff. As I hope you can tell from here, we care a lot about creators and we'll do what it takes to make this stuff work. Everybody from Austin Show for Lover Host to Elgato to V-Show, Joe's been running our tech for a while. We care a lot and we want to make these things happen. So please hit us up. Please check out what we're building and we'll be at TwitchCon. Thank you all again so much for stopping by. This was great. Also follow me if you want to hear more about these things in the future. This was super fun.
Thank you for having us. This was really, really nice.
Yeah, thanks for putting this on, dude.
Of course, anytime, y'all.
I don't think that Twitch is dying. I don't think that's true. I don't yeah. I don't think that Twitch is dying. I don't think that it's gonna go anywhere. I think there's some problems. I think they have problems they need to address and they need to figure it out soon. I think we missed a lot of the super interesting parts, Potato. I think we kind of missed a segment or two of it, but basically the things they mentioned were things like Twitch Sings 2 probably coming out, that we don't have a good way to monetize, that there's not a good way to reward people who are watching their creators and supporting them and loving them in a way that they deserve, because you have two choices. You can either pay $5, of which only like $1 of it actually goes to me, in order to stop the ads from bombarding you constantly, or you're gonna get 8 minutes of ads per hour on this channel, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Like that's not great. It's not a great experience for anybody involved, and I think about the people who are not subscribed, even just listening to what just happened, like I don't know. Even the ads are the worst. The ads are not fair. But they are what they are, right? They're not going to go anywhere. The ads are still going to continue to be a thing, and the fact that I can't turn them off entirely is maddening. At the end of the day, if I decided that I wanted to run this channel in a way of that I just won't like that I'm just not gonna get a lot of money from it, right? I'm just gonna rely on subs and your tips to sustain the channel. Like that should be my choice. You shouldn't have to watch ads because I want to. And people like Rude who have 200 concurrents every single night, he shouldn't be out money because he didn't ask for 70%. Like that's not fair, you know. Whatever. You're super popular. Get out of here. Um, you know, it. I don't know. I think about friends of all kinds of sizes, and I keep thinking about my own as well. Like, do I want to do okay, Rucker? Do I want to do YouTube? Do I want to you know I'm gonna put together a VOD channel, like the gaming thing I tweeted about today. Which, Carpet, if you want to link that in chat, if y'all want to follow that on YouTube, feel free. Um, it's where I'm gonna put VODs, but do I want to diversify out to streaming on YouTube? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my place too. Rude is it's like I would like to diversify. It's smart to diversify, but Twitch is home, and no matter how many times, like, have you ever seen that curve in Your Enthusiasm where he leaves and he goes "fuck you" and "I'll see you tomorrow"? Like it feels like that. Like no matter how many times. Like the other night, I watched. You remember? Do you remember the other night, chat, when I watched the first Ring of Powers with you? We did like the whole thing. There was a bounty for that to do that with you, and after we did it, because I didn't put hashtag ad in the title, they are not paying me. So we essentially watched that program for free, which is fine. It's an hour that I got to spend with chat. So I don't regret that. But at the same time, for anybody that stayed up that night to keep chatting when, not everybody had Prime to watch it, it feels frustrating, I don't know. Hi Jem, how you doing? It's they continue to do things that screw you over. And, yeah, and you're not allowed to if you have a check mark, Joe. That's the problem. Is if you don't have a check mark, you're not allowed to do that. And so, if you have a check mark, you're not allowed to do that. So, you know, I don't really want to risk losing my check mark. But I don't know. Thank you, Carpet. Appreciate you grabbing that. I did not warn Carpet I was going to mention that ahead of time. Thanks for just going and grabbing that. But follow the channel if you have a second. It's I got to get up to 100 subs to get the custom URL. But it's one of those things. I don't know how fair that is. Affiliates technically aren't supposed to. Right, that is correct, Potato. So, um, technically, you should not accept an affiliate or a Twitch contract if you want to stream on multiple platforms. For example, Ninja cannot take your sub money. You can't give him subs or bits, but you can give Ninja tips. Right. So that's that's a theory, but I don't know. Like I don't know. Is Patreon's an interesting one. I don't know. I would like to diversify. I would like to find more ways to give people content, to do vlogs, to do some writing, that doesn't involve giving Twitch money. But at the end of the day, I don't know. Are we just stuck doing that? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, you tell me, chat. Here's a good chance for me to poll you and you to give me some data, right? So every time you subscribe, it costs you $5. Of that $5, Twitch gets $2.50, and after taxes, I get a dollar and a quarter or so, right? So knowing that, are you more likely to want to have an alternative? Like, so many of my streamer friends are providing alternative ways for people to support that is not buying a Twitch sub. But the problem is they get this in your mind. They get this in your mind, like, if your subscription numbers fall, then you're failing. Maybe you're the minority, but you try to support outside of subbing because of fees and taxes. See, that's what I continue to wonder, Mike. Like, is it smarter to set up a YouTube blog where you can subscribe for, $5? I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like, Guy's been doing that a lot. Guy takes tips. Guy gets more tips than a lot of streamers I know. That guy makes, a decent amount of his rent money from people tipping him. And I think he's super smart for doing that because Amazon doesn't get it, right? So his sub count is not as high as mine, but we're pretty on par because he's supported through. Guy incentivizes people to do tips. You ever watch Guy's channel? He has a rotating thing that constantly talks about if you give this amount of money, it's going to trigger this funny thing or this thing is going to happen. He doesn't focus on subs. So it's interesting. It's like, but also I've had people tell me, well, it's so much easier to just give you a sub than it is to do anything else. So it's wild, I mean, do we want people doing tips? Do you want subs? It's like, it's such a, right. If you do bits, it plays the ghosty song exactly. So I don't know. I feel like Ko-Fi going back to PayPal or the current ways. Tumblr doesn't collect any of your information. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been to Tumblr for sure. People want to support the creator, but they also don't want 6 back-to-back ads. That's the other problem, Potato, is if I put my support into, hey, don't subscribe, then you have to deal with the ridiculous amount of ads that are on this channel in order to keep it alive. That is the crux, is how do you deal in a world where if you don't subscribe to me, your experience of playing with me sucks. That's what I don't know. Like, and the ads are only going to keep increasing. That's what I'm wondering, Galran, is it's like how much more can Twitch really make you watch ads? They're already making you watch 4 to 8 minutes, depending on the channel. Some channels take offers that watch up to 8 minutes of ads. We're currently at 3 per hour. Like, how many, the ads will be full-length TV spots. I worry about that for sure. I really do. But I wonder, so I've spent a lot of time with Kayla. I've spent a lot of time with some friends that have brought their community over here, that have hung out. But I wonder how many times have even those of you who subscribe to me regularly, and when your sub falls off for a night, right? Like, if you're watching me, no matter how much you like me, right? No matter how much you like me as a person, if in the upper right hand corner of your screen you see an ad and it says 1 of 9, are you gonna stay? Are you really going to sit here and wait for me to come back on your screen through 9 ads? Like, you gotta love me a lot, or else you're distracted. Like, I don't know how many people I would sit and watch 9 ads before, that's a lot. That's a lot. With bits, it costs you about $10 to put $4 in my pocket. Yeah, that's a bad deal. That's an honestly bad deal. I don't know. the other day you tried browsing New Peeps, you clicked on someone interesting, got slammed with 5 ads for 30 seconds each? Yeah. I've seen that on some friends that we know, Mike, who are running the full stop ads that Twitch offers, the 8 minutes. And it's like, you get 9 30-second ads. And it's like, what? No. And it's like every 30 minutes, 9 30-second ads. No. I would not watch me. I would not watch my content if I had to watch 9 30-second ads. That's a lot. That's a lot. Most of the time makes me not want to discover new streamers at all. Which works for me, I guess, H. Like, it keeps you here, right? There's obviously more entertaining streamers out there than me. So that's great that you don't want to go somewhere else. Works for me. But also, like, it means that nobody else new is probably finding me either. Right? Hello, Pig Dan. We're just talking. Twitch stopped advertising Turbo, even though you can buy for $6 a month to avoid ads. Yeah, I never talk about Turbo. Yeah, hat and sandal guy. Never. And I should. I really should talk about it. Sadly, I think until there's a valid competitor that both hurts Twitch subs and revenue, they're just going to continue to bump ads to supplement dropping subs and vice versa. I think their September thing failed miserably. I think they got a lot less subs than they thought they would. I think they got a lot less subs than they thought they would, and I think they're in trouble. I mean, you know, what was the origin of subs? Subs is a way to get people to support the creator you love, but YouTube gives 70% of the ad revenue, and other places like FanHouse give 90% of the revenue. And I have flat out had a couple of times where I've told people this, and then they've literally said, "Okay, great, I'm not going to give subs anymore," because you know, why would you give $100 knowing that I'm only going to get 50 of it? That that sucks. Like that's but that's the ecosystem that we are in. And hearing that Twitch wants me and Rude and Cyrilli and MK to push primes. Like, I have no interest in pushing primes. I am literally telling you, chat, I don't care if you never buy Prime. Like, there are streamers who watch a lot of Prime movies. So if you're part of their communities, it's probably a good idea to have Twitch Prime. But we don't really do that very much here. As much as I like doing it, I hated how I had to push primes. So that's just not something I do a lot. It just feels weird. Right. I really feel that. I really feel exactly what you just said there, Mike. And let me give you a real world example, chat, of how it puts streamers like me in a difficult position. And maybe you can appreciate it, and maybe it'll make you angry from a viewer perspective, right? The other day we were doing charity, and Rumgore dropped a 50 sub bomb on this channel, right? And why did he do that? Well, he's aware that it's hard for me because I'm pushing charity because I love charity, but also when I do that, I sacrifice my own income, so I don't make any money that day because I'm focused on charity, right? So he dropped $250 on the channel, not to the charity, but gave it to Twitch. Of that money, I will see probably about $108. So he chose to support me, which is very nice, and I appreciate it, over the charity. But essentially, at the same time, his decision, he didn't give charity $250 and instead gave me $108, but lost $250 himself, plus taxes. Do you see what I'm saying there? So it's like, in order to support the streamer that you care about, you have to make a bad financial decision. That is messed up. That is most assuredly messed up. And it's something that I continue to be more and more thoughtful about, and how that's that's just rough, you know? Do you prefer to give tips more often? Oh, that's that's sort of where I'm at, Kanta. Is I think part of the reason why I'm having this chat with you right now is because I'm figuring that out. You know, like I said, I really respect how Guy is doing things, but I think about things like tonight, right? My plan for tonight was up on top of the screen there, trombone champion, and if we got 100 sub points, we were gonna switch from whatever game I was playing over to trombone champion, right? Funny idea. But at the end of the day, subs are just like, you know, the split on them is terrible, but they also provide a better experience for the people who are here. I know it is for sure. So I mean, subs are great. They bring in viewers, and people like doing them, and there's a reason that I have a 30 sub goal above my head, because they work. You know what I mean? Like, they're a good way to support the channel. They make it worthwhile. We've been on the air for Hello VP. We've been on the air for an hour and a half, and I think that means I've made about, let's see, 25 bits plus one sub. I've made $1.50 for an hour and a half's worth of work. I'm doing very, very good. You know, is it worth it? I don't know. But tipping instead of gifting subs going forward. Yeah, I think it's kind of smart. I think it's kind of smart, Galran. Now, I will say, like, right now, right now, what I have done is I have gone around to all of the streamers I care about. Rudism, MK, Guy, Bruce, and a couple of Misty, a couple of others, Kayla, and I paid $20 each so that I'm subscribed to their channel for 6 months. Because right now, there's a great deal where you subscribe for 6 months, you're only giving Twitch $20, and the streamer still gets the full amount of money. So Twitch gets screwed. I am all about that. I am all about my money going to the streamer and not to Twitch. So I've done that. But on the daily, just handing out gifted subs, I don't know, man. I think, it's gonna take time and effort, and I'm gonna be annoyed, but doing tips may be smarter, honestly. You did the 6-month thing to all your regulars, and it's smart to do that, Mike. It's absolutely smart. If for any of you listening right now, I highly suggest go to your favorites channels right now and click on your subscription underneath the video. You can do it right now underneath my video here. You click on manage sub, and you can change it to 6 months, and it'll take $20 out of your account, and you'll be subscribed for 6 months, and then you don't have to worry about Twitch taking half, because it's mostly going to the streamer, and that's great. But that's, they don't do this every month. They do, they only do this every once in a while. So, I don't know. I mean, incentivizing tips may be smarter. I don't know. Oh, hi.
Hi, favorite channel, SteveInLove.
Love you too, Jen. Thank you so much for the tier 3. Did you just do tier 3 for 6 months? Ooh, insanely generous human. With Guy, you've been doing tips and stuff, like throwing gifts outside of your own sub to his channel. Yeah, and it's, and it sucks. And it does, but it's a hard decision, because it's so easy to yeah, and don't do it on mobile. Don't do it on the mobile. Do it on a real browser, not mobile. The mobile prices are so inflated. It sucks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, chat. I don't know. It's a treadmill, right? It's a treadmill. Every time our sub count goes below 1,000, I start to panic. Every single time. Right now we are sitting at 1,200 subs, and if we drop another 200 subs, I'm gonna start panicking, because it's hard to say if that it was that the time that I spend here.
Oh yeah.
Aw, Alexander, thank you for doing that, buddy. Thank you for continuing to sub. It's really hard to say, like, spend 80 hours a month Twitch streaming, but make $2 an hour, right? So it's hard. It's like, I don't know. Trying to give my spawners the best experience possible while not getting screwed by Twitch is giving me such a headache. Like it is making me sad today. It is like I just want to give the best experience to my viewers as possible. And it's a headache trying to navigate that world where Twitch wants me to push primes and ads, and I don't want to do that, and I don't know. I don't know. It's true, Plat. Tipping definitely can be a good thing. But then again, like I said, take Galran for example. Galran faithfully gives somewhere between 100 to 150 subs a month on average since he's been in this channel. That's 150 people that don't see ads and will enjoy their experience here more because he did that. Because Ali and him are generous. So if they don't do that, if they tip me directly, that's 150 people that will have ads, and they may not stick around, right? So how do you balance that, right? If I drive people away from doing gifted subs, that's more worse experiences for other people. I don't know. Hey, Blazing Dog, thanks for coming back for 20. I thought what you said made sense. I like watching you. Usually you're not awake when you stream because of the difference. So thank you. Oh, well, thank you very much, Alexander. I appreciate that. I don't know. It's not necessarily a really great win-win situation, unfortunately. It's hard. No, so Puzzler, this is really weird. Alright. So alright. So this is a new Twitch grab for money thing, right? Hey, Miss Envy, no. I won't be going to TwitchCon this year. Too far away. So the boost train. The boost train is a new way of trying to convince you to give me money. And I can't turn it off. So essentially, it has replaced the hype train. And the thing is, if we reach level 5 hype train, then it will enable us to be on the middle of the front page until about 2,000 to 3,000 people see the stream. After that, then it goes back to normal. But essentially, you can pay right now. It's like a random thing. You can pay caboose train, exactly. You can pay by making that hype train get up to level 5 to get me more chances to have more people see my face and hopefully become your new friend. That's the idea. It is the evolution of the boost thing that failed because streamers like me turned it off. Basically, we didn't want to peddle their advertising, so they brought it back. They put it into the hype train, and they made it where you can't turn it off. So it's an advertising ploy basically. So it's like if people decide to do it, it's very, very nice, and it does get you more eyeballs. And there's nothing wrong with paying for advertisement. Like, that's just an accepted part of life. I don't have a problem with that. But what I do have a problem with is I don't want to sit here. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that gifted
Earth
sub.
Alexander has gifted 1 subs to viewers.
Thank you. I don't want to put that on you to be like, chat, I desperately need more eyeballs on this stream. Please make sure that level 5 hype train goes through. Now, if we have a level 5 hype train and y'all get, a free game or whatever out of it and you're super into it, or somebody drops a couple of 10 gifted, sub bombs and we get there naturally, that's great. Then we'll get some extra people seeing the stream. Hopefully we're doing something fun when that happens, and then we can make some new friends, and that's great. But I don't want to do that constantly either. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not the typical streamer because I don't want to pressure people into spending money when they don't have to. Maybe I'm just weird. That's possible as well. I might just be weird. Hello, EC. How are you doing, buddy? Galran, thank you for coming back for your 6 months in advance. I appreciate that, bud. I'm worried that if viewers are switching from subs vids and when Twitch has their cut, Twitch will catch on and take cuts out of the tips. They can't. They can't, E-Ray. It's not on their platform. If you give me a tip, it goes through Streamlabs. They can't touch it. So it doesn't matter. Have to wait till you're back on your computer. Oh, 100%, Galran. Don't do that. Cassie, thank you for giving that gift sub to EC. Let's go.
Copiop gifted a tier 1 sub to Ickle 1017 Gaming. They have given 52 gift subs in the channel.
That's me. It's I mean, listen, I love it. And like I love hype trains, If you got 30 seconds on this one. Did we save it? I don't know. I don't really care tonight, to be honest with you. But do I want to see what the boost does? Do I want to see what happens if we get the boost? Yeah, I'm really curious. But it's just another thing that they're doing to convince me to push for more of your money. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. I like giving back. I like giving content.
Like taking candy
Jesus.
from a baby.
Wayward, you made the train crash at 69%. I respect that. I respect that. And yes, no, it's all or nothing, Potato. So we did not go past level 1, so we get nothing. So it's, let's see how many boosts we get out of this, because I think it'll give us a number. So level 1 was 1,500 recommendations. So just for a level 1 train, we get 1,500 recommendations. So I guess that means we're going to appear 1,500 times every time somebody opens up the app. But because we didn't get level 5, we don't get really good placement. So we get nothing. It's weird. I don't know, man. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see the next time the boost streams comes back around. Maybe we'll try to make a push for it and see what happens. I don't know. Like I said, I love being on Twitch. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not I'm not gonna leave Twitch. I just wish they were better. It just every time I talk to my partner manager, she gives me bad news. I have not talked to my partner manager and gotten good news from her in like a year and a half. Like it just doesn't, I just wish I had a better relationship with Twitch, Like, I don't know. It stinks we don't even get emotes for boosting the hype train anymore. Nope, you sure don't. What did Jeff do this time? It's a big thing about, basically, not having, some Twitch creators lost 20%. Some people who make $100,000 are going to make less now. Hello, Co. You know, thanks, Co. So I don't know. It's wild. There's a lot of you're 14% through the boost. So well, I guess we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna wait. We're gonna see. Like Oko. Like, did you find us on the recommended tab? Did you find us because of the boost? Is that something that you found? I mean, I don't know. I think it's gonna take some experimenting to see how that works. So I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to push for anymore. Okay, so the boost is over. That's how long it lasted. Let's see, it was 2 minutes. So 2 minutes. Did anybody actually come through and follow the channel? I don't know. I don't know. I was just recommended from the boost. Interesting. So Bobo, tell me about your experience, right? that was the first time that we saw the boost. What was your experience like getting recommended? How did it feel to you? Because I'm curious. You know, you can only do those every so often, so I'm curious how people. You feel moderately boosted. Nice. I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing that's actually going to work. I don't think it's going to work as well when we're just chatting and hanging out. Maybe that'll work better when we're playing a game or something. Maybe. I don't know. The boost affects the algorithm. Yeah, so the more the more that your hype train gets to level 5, the better boost it would have. And then if you complete level 5, it gives you like the top placement that you can get. It was under the live channels we think you'll like with a thing over the thumbnail saying that it was promoted by the community. Oh, so it actually let you know that the community was paying for you to see us. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a good data point. All right. On the one hand, advertising is normal. On the other hand, I hate that finances determine discoverability. Yeah, so it's a little weird, right? So basically, I have to motivate y'all to get excited when a hype train comes around, so that you can give Twitch money, so that we can get better placement. It's interesting. I don't hate it, but the anti-capitalist in me doesn't love it either. I don't know. Like that goes kind of like what we were just saying. Now, here's another thing that interests me, right? So Bobo just found us. Whether or not they stick around, I'll be interested to find out. But if they do, that was one person out of 1,500, right? Which is not a great conversion rate. But what if Bobo found this channel, said, "Man, that Steve guy, he's all right," and then he immediately got hit with 900 ads. I will say I also clicked because I recognized you from Twitter. Okay, so it's not just from this. Not just from this, it's also from Twitter. Okay. Well, Anonymous, thank you for
An
giving.
anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Bobo_1057.
Thank you for giving Bobo all that. I just watched 5 ads and didn't leave. I hope you feel loved. Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tolerating the 5 ads. But that is what I worry about is, will people put up with the ads that I cannot turn off? I don't know. Like, so Potato just watched 5 ads. That's a lot of ads. That's 2.5 minutes of ads. Just not to leave a channel. I don't know. Would I put up with that from a new streamer I just met? I don't know. I don't know. I feel lucky to only watch 36 ads in the last hour here. Jesus. That sucks, Hat and Sandals guy. Honestly. I mean, and I don't know how to feel about that as a streamer. I'm trying to cultivate a community here, right? I'm trying to build a community. I'm not trying to be a head clicker on Twitch. I'm not trying to just build a channel where I stare blankly at the camera while I get wins in Fortnite. I'm trying to build a channel where people want to talk and chat, they want to hang out, they want to be part of the community. By ad 3, my ADHD brain is having a hard time not swiping to something else. It's a legitimate struggle, and that's what I'm worried about, Katie. Is how many people am I losing because I cannot turn the advertisements off? The fact that I cannot turn the ads off bothers me. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. The only thing I can do is I can, so, I just thought of something and I hate it. Potato says, "This is my first time chatting, but I followed you on Twitter for a long time. I love what you do to enable people with disabilities. I know how important it is." Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, oh man. Galran, Mousy, I hate myself for thinking about this. I could start promoting it where I say, instead of gifting sub bombs, if we encourage sniping people in chat who don't have subs.
An anonymous user gifted a tier 1 sub to Potato
Speaking
Masher
of
Annie.
Anonymous, thank you for giving out that gifted sub to Potato Masher Annie. We could start encouraging people to talk in chat, and then people who are generous and have financial backing, instead of giving random bombs, they could snipe people so that they don't have bad ad experiences. But then that goes back to pushing subs again. Some of us do that when we have the funds. That is true, Nire. I've seen you do that more than once. I don't know. Back in the ads look more entertaining and cool. Well, they weren't 9 minutes long. What I'm really worried about is people like Katie. What I'm really worried about is Katie, I've seen talk in this chat more than once. She obviously lurks. She obviously is around. But does she love me enough to watch 3 minutes of ads every hour? 4 minutes of ads every hour? How much do you love me, Katie? Right? I'm a stranger on the internet that you have a parasocial relationship with. How much do you love me? How many ads worth? Is that the point that we're at now? Is that the point that I have to ask people? Like, do you love me 1 ad worth? Do you love me 2 ads worth? Am I gonna, next time I'm in a relationship, am I gonna go to bed being like, baby, I love you 45 ads worth? Like, I mean, what the heck and heck? Can I beat the system by running AG? I cannot. I wish. Like it just feels like I don't know, man. Where do you go from there? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think anyone's loved 45 ads worth. That's a fair point, Annie. That's a fair point. Depends on your capacity and try to have the love. I appreciate that, Katie. And thanks for letting me use you as an example. I love it here, but sometimes my brain makes me forget that I was here. I mean, I feel the same way on screen. I love you 6 ads worth? What the fuck, H? After all the times you've talked about your boobs to me, you only love me 6 ads worth? What the shit? What the living shit? I love you 69 ads worth? Yeah, nice. 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 Uh-huh. Alright, H. Yeah, no, I see how it is. I see how it is. You're willing to have all this. Ah, Steve, I'm not wearing a bra. Look at me, I got boobs. But as soon as it comes to ads, you're out. Okay, H. Okay. Alright, I see how it is. Alright, okay. The real thing, people being turned off by ads, is the conversations they miss out on when the ad plays. Agreed. That's, I think, the thing I hate the most, is that I cannot control when the ads play either. They just play. For example, I think they're about to play in 1 minute, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. It's just gonna happen. You can run 5 minutes of ads every hour and get X per viewer. Yeah, essentially. Well, what if the ads had boobs? Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting to a topic that everybody can get behind. More boobs in advertisement. I stay for Steve's ads, but leave for others. See, I think that's really interesting, Birdman. I think to do a hot tub stream. No, I'm not doing a hot tub stream. I think that's interesting, Soaring Birdman. Here's my thought, and I feel like I'm onto something here, and it's gonna be something that I'm gonna marvel about here, and no other streamers are ever gonna give a fuck about. But I feel like I just hit on something there. I think that's. Mike, if you're still listening, what am I trying to get at here? I think the ads are almost dependent on how much affinity you have for the streamer. And I don't think that that's how it should be. Jam, thank you for coming in for your 2nd month in a row. Welcome back. I just used mobile browser to do 6 months. I hope it wasn't through because it's so glitchy. I don't see anything yet. You'd have to refresh and then we might see it. Some streamers have the option to choose when to run. Some do, but most don't. If we accept the contract, we do not have a choice. in order to keep the pre-roll ads off, you have to accept so many ads per hour. And it's, it's all to make the experience better for newer people that are coming in, but then you make the experience worse for the people you already have. Ugh. Chad, do you remember back in the day, like 5 years ago, when you could watch Twitch and you would just turn on this little silly purple app and you would just see friendly faces and you could just hang out with them for a while? And there wasn't any of this, like, streamer drama. There wasn't people hating on somebody because they did this and then finding out your favorite streamer likes to call people the N-word, and then there wasn't other people like doxing people, and then Twitch drama about payments. And remember that? Those were good days. I like those days. Those are pretty good. People who don't want ads will stop watching. I feel like this was already a proven thing if people started pirating again in response to ads on streaming platforms. Well, and I think so. Right hat and sandal. So, I think that brings up an interesting thing. Oh yeah, Rick. I remember when you could volunteer to watch ads to give money to your favorite streamer. That was good. That was really good. And worse for newer people only after like 20 minutes. Exactly. So, I think that. Oh, you don't know about that, Saifu? Yeah, so there was a thing about 3 years ago. They were called ads for streamers, and they were only available to like people in the United States. So Rudism could never get them, but I had them. Basically, a little pop-up would come up on your phone about every, I don't know, once every 2 hours that would say, do you want to support your favorite streamer? If so, you can watch ads now, and it would have a purple button. And if you click the yes, then you would watch like 5 to 10 videos, and they would give you like 200 or 300 biddies, which then you could give to the streamer that you were watching. It was a very interesting way to just volunteer with consent to watch advertisements for your streamer. But if they were doing something interesting and you didn't want to do it right then, you could just not do it or do it later. You had an option. Now you don't have an option, which I think is my biggest gripe. Is there's no option on whether or not to do it. But it is something that I'm hearing a lot of now, and the reason why I started up that YouTube channel, again, Carpet will give you the link, of doing a VOD channel, is what some streamers are doing is they are telling their communities, don't necessarily watch me live. I'm gonna put up the VOD of this video tomorrow. Go watch that because that doesn't have ads. That's an ad-free experience. So if you want to watch the whole thing, but you don't want to see ads, you can just go to the VOD channel. And that's wild. Like I don't know. I can't imagine telling y'all to go there. Well, you get the most ads on Twitch VODs. I'm talking about putting this up on YouTube. So, yeah, once you put it on YouTube, there's no ads because it's up to the YouTuber to turn those off. I don't think Twitch even saves your VODs long term, so you don't. Yeah, you get about 90 days. And if you're a partner, you get about 30 streams or 90 days. So I only have the last 28 videos or whatever. Because I've never really cared about saving my broadcast. So that's 5 years worth of content that I've lost. That I don't care. It's just something that I've never really cared about because I never really thought that there was a point. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think the point of Twitch and the point of watching me right now is because you get to interact with me in real time and you get to make points and I read them and you see me go, oh shit, you're right. And then my conversation changes based on what you have said. So we're having an interaction here. Well, as a community, there's a bunch of us talking. Some people are lurking and watching. Other people are actively participating. And I think that's part of what makes it fun. But if you're watching the video you don't have that same interaction. You can't actually say anything to me. You can't, like, you could message me on Twitter, but if you want to interact with me, you have to catch me live. So it's also convenient for people who want to watch the whole stream but have big differences in time zones. Exactly. Something I also hadn't considered until I had been doing this for a while. And, you know, that's the thing, chat, is they don't teach you this shit when you become a streamer. You have to figure it out for yourself. The fact that I have like a 10 to 12% viewership in Europe is wild to me. I have had your send me boobs on Discord. Yes, exactly. There have been amazing times where people have come into chat and they've said things like, "Hey, I'm in Ireland. You stream really early for me, but I watch your videos almost every day." And I'm like, "What? Israel here." See, that's what I'm saying. Like they don't teach you that, Alexander. They don't teach you that when you start streaming. That like that there's gonna be people in other countries that want to watch you, and that's mind blowing. Like it's like, wow, you know, what am I doing that Alexander all the way across the fucking world in Israel wants to spend time watching me? And if you have self-esteem problems or imposter syndrome like I do, you don't think about stuff like that. You don't think anyone's going to want to see the videos. And then you have people who go, "Yeah, actually, I do want the video." And then you're like, "Well, shit, why didn't anybody tell me that 5 years ago?" You know what I mean? So, but nobody teaches you that. Nobody comes through and tells you, like, "Hey, just so you know, even if you don't see a value in your videos, other people do." And it's like, "Oh, well, shit. I guess I should have thought of that ahead of time." So, it's a wild learning experience. I just recently passed my 5-year mark, and I'm still learning. You know what I mean? It's 7:30 a.m. for you right now. Well, good morning. Imagine if Twitch bought basic info like this, right? Imagine if they would let me know that kind of thing. Like, the only reason I know that I have such a strong European base recently is because in the after hours streams, the ones that are like at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, people come in and they're like, "Hey, I just woke up. Hey, it's good to see you. I'm having my morning coffee." It's like, "Oh, okay. You're obviously not on the East Coast of America because it's not that early." So it's only, again, because of chat. So the videos wouldn't tell me that. And Twitch doesn't tell me any of that information. I'm supportive of VOD being on YouTube for those who cannot sub so they don't get ads. Ads are annoying. Agreed, Kira. That's what this whole conversation is about. I'm going to have to start doing that channel that Carpet keeps advertising because I want people to have better experiences. Enjoy your lurk, Rosie. So, perspective of the value of short-term investment for long-term value and payoff at the expense of short-term profit. That sounds like some sort of anti-capitalist rhetoric. I know. Imagine people trying to get value out of what they're doing here. Enjoy, Alan. Hope you enjoy your lurk. I don't know. I realize I'm not the typical streamer. I realize that there's a lot of streamers who get on, they laugh, they joke, and they click heads, and that's just it. Whereas I want to constantly give back. That's why we do, every time there's a hype train, that's why I buy chat a video game. That's why Carpet goes out of his way to give people things. Carpet has spent hundreds of dollars on things to give chat, so it's we like to give back here. Now I realize that's atypical of Twitch, but we're at 96 subscribers. Let's go. But for me, I feel like I want to not. I want to provide some value for the money personally. I mean, again, maybe that's just me, but I want you to walk away from here going, "You know what? That was a good $5. I'm happy that I spent that $5 on Steve's channel this month." You know what I mean? 98. I see you, Valley Cakes. How are you? It's all about chasing short-term games and the biggest numbers, the fastest. I know, right? I know. Tired but good? I'm glad you're good. Not glad you're tired, but I'm glad you're good. I always feel welcome here. Thank you for cultivating such a good community. You're welcome. happy about that. That's also why we got the chat, by the way. I'm sure some of you noticed as well. I put the chat on the screen. That's why. Because when we do these just chatting videos, I wanted people to be able to see the numbers, see the chat. 101. Let's go. Sweet. Now we can get our custom URL. We're gonna make it Steve in Joy's boobs. There we go. Yes, you do have same brain. Looks like it. Yes. I think Twitch should start caring about smaller streamers more and only focusing on those who are over 90K. Yeah, that's been a weird thing, Rex. I don't know about the rest of y'all. But I have noticed when I am just being an everyday Joe, just clicking on Twitch to go hang out with people, right? They always recommend the channels that have 90,000 viewers. Why do they recommend those? I have never clicked. Again, this is me being anti-capitalist, I guess. But maybe I'm more closer to Mike's views on the world than I thought. Whenever I see people with 50,000 Twitch viewers, I'm not interested. I automatically don't want to click on their channel. They already have 50,000 viewers. They don't need me participating into right, PB? Like, they don't need me in their channel. I click on my friends who have 100 viewers. I click on my friends who have 50 viewers. I like, making sure that my friends like PB who stream and have 30 viewers, that, I can be 1/30th of their viewership. Like, that makes me feel like I'm making a difference in somebody's life. The person who has 96,000 viewers doesn't give a flying squirrel that I'm sitting in there lurking. They do not care. They do not care. Even someone as big as Bruce. Bruce 100% has said, like, hey, I'm glad to see, I see Steve lurking in the channel, and, I see this person. Like, even if you're up to like 300 or 400 people, you can still make a difference in their channel. But at 96,000, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Whenever I watch something to get a Twitch drop for a game, I always pick a streamer with the smallest audience. That's because you have a big heart, Anonymous. That's why. That's exactly why. I prefer streams under 1,000 viewers. Same, Gil. Same. If you're one of the 100,000 viewers, you might as well just watch the VOD. Exactly, because they're not paying attention to you. But I would love to see a flying squirrel. I mean, those are fun. I mean, I even feel that way about watching Kayla. Like, Kayla often has 6 to 16,000 viewers. And I have a gem and I have a multicolored badge. And she watches for her friends. And even at that, it's really hard to joke and laugh with her in her stream because the text just goes by so quick. It's hard to have interactions, even with somebody that I consider a real life good friend. Kayla and I are actual friends, not stream friends. We actually talk outside of stream stuff. And even at that, it's hard for me to joke with her in her chat because it moves by so quick. So, why would I want to go from someone that has 3,000 viewers to somebody that has 50,000? I just don't. I mean, if Pokemon unfollows me on Twitch because I, am promoting people not to go watch her, then so be it. Whatever. I don't really care. To be honest, there's a lot of small streamers who are better at creating content. That's true. I don't know. Huge streams may as well be pre-recorded, yeah, because they're not actually interacting with you, right? So what does it matter? I think the streamer I watch pulls the largest amount of viewers is like Scar. Oh, Scar is great though, but Scar doesn't interact as much unless you give him bits because his chat moves so quick. I don't expect to talk to Kayla, but I can't even have interactions with other viewers because chat moves so fast. Yeah, exactly. Lurker here. Oh, hey, Lurker. First time Shadow Talker. How are you? I get overwhelmed with big chats, so definitely prefer the smaller ones. Otherwise, I just lurk. That's an interesting perspective. I'm glad you shared, Shadow, because I'm always interested to see what makes people want to lurk versus talking in chat. Because I have been putting a lot of effort in the last 6 months or so to get chat to talk more often. I love my lurkers. Please, every one of you who are a lurker, don't feel like I'm saying anything against you. I'm not in any way. But I've been working harder on making sure that people feel like they are welcome to chat if they would like to. I want people to know that they are not only welcome, but wanted here. And that's important to me. I really only chime in if someone has a question during Kayla's streams. Exactly. And that's why that's why I call her a fucking master, because she is so good at wrangling 6,000 people at one time. It blows my mind that she can handle that many people. After we get above like 500, I start losing control. Honestly, it's a lot of people. Kayla's awesome. Thanks to her, I found you. Well, I appreciate that, Alexander. As a first day chatter here, I really appreciated that welcome. You're welcome. It's good to have you, Annie. If you wanted me to talk more, kidding. Certainly, I talk too much. I want you to talk more, Niray. Please do. Please do. It's impossible to interact unless you give simplified interactions and tons of polls. Exactly. I appreciate your mindset on everything. I find it very rational. Hey, you're welcome, Dan. Thanks for hanging out. I feel like I'm half lurker. I love chatting here and I'm comfortable with it. I just don't have a lot to say. But I think that's what I'm trying to cultivate, Alicia, is I'm trying to walk the line. I don't want people to feel like they have to chat. I don't want H, for example, because she's here a lot. I don't want her to feel like she has to chat. As a matter of fact, Mike is another good example. Mike is here pretty much a lot. Like, I don't know exactly how much because I don't check the list, but he's here a lot. But he doesn't talk a lot, but he's always supporting. And I like that he feels like he can talk when he wants to talk. Right? And that's the culture I want to cultivate. I want people to want to chat here. And then I want them to feel like it's okay if they don't chat. Because I think there's a lot of chat rooms where you have streamers that sit on the screen and go, "You're not actually helping me, lurkers. How dare you sit there and love me and enjoy my content, but not feed me talking constantly?" It's like, dude, you've lost sight of who you are. Shut the fuck up. As an introvert who must socialize all day at work, I prefer lurking here in the evenings, but I always appreciate those who do chat, and Steve's welcoming vibes are no matter what. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I prefer to watch smaller streamers mainly to support them, but there are some... Stupid scroll bar. There are some big streamers with thousands of viewers you'll watch, like Kayla, because she's awesome. But you have to make it a really good impression for me to watch with that many viewers. I think you're right, Kira. I think you're right. Steve is always watching. You're always watching, Lebowski. Always watching. I lurk a lot, but also chatting with people too. I do. I like when people chat with each other. That really makes me happy. I like that as well. I feel like I'm just chilling with friends. Yeah, and you know what? It took me 5 years to figure out how to do that, Alicia. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna be 3,000% honest with you. The first 3 years I was streaming, I didn't have a fucking idea what I was doing. I didn't have a clue. I was doing shenanigans, I was doing contests, I was doing stuff to keep people interested and giving me subs just because it was good content. I was letting people torture me just because I wanted them to hang out. It took me really the full... I'd say I started figuring out who I was as a streamer at about year 3. I started figuring out that I wanted chat to move. I wanted the lurkers to feel welcome. I wanted to build a community. I knew that I wasn't a super talented entertainer. I knew that I wasn't a super talented entertainer like my friends like Crank Gameplays or Markiplier. Like, I was never going to be someone who was a huge YouTuber. So I didn't have the same kind of community draw. You're never going to see Steve on tour. But I wanted to make a community where people wanted to hang out. And that was really kind of, I don't know, kind of central to me. Did you stop trying and then you were yourself and then it worked? No. So, no, it's not one of those stories where like I stopped trying and then all of a sudden I found myself. No, the way that I did it was actually jealousy. Um, Okay. Let me give you a life hack, chat. Let me give you a really good life hack, and this is something that I believe deeply in my soul. People think jealousy is bad. I don't think jealousy is all bad. I think jealousy actually points you in the direction of what you really want in life. I think that there's bad kinds of jealousy, like being jealous over your significant other if they're talking to a dude on Facebook. Like, that's the bad kind of jealousy. Don't do that. But if you are hanging out in someone else's area of the world or their job or their, their profession or their art, or if you see someone who's really good at writing and it makes you jealous that they're good at that, that means that you wish you could do that. That means that you wish that you, in fact, had that in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I got jealous because a friend of mine and guys had a chat where she could sit and talk for 5 hours straight and never play a game. And that made me jealous because I want that. I want to be able to talk to people and just enjoy conversation, right? And when I felt that, I realized, oh shit, I'm not jealous of her. That's what I actually want. That's what my heart is telling me. This is what will make me happy. If I have the ability to, one day out of 5s, sit here and just talk to you for 2 hours, and people are enjoying that and they're liking it and they're sitting there sipping their coffees, their root beers, and they're having a good time just like hanging out, like that's what I want. And so that's what I've started moving towards. And sometimes I do have nights where I hang out with Guy and John and I don't really talk to chat that much. And then I have nights like this where I'm all I'm doing is talking to chat. And I like being able to bounce back and forth. So using jealousy as a window into what you feel like you're missing or your truest desires. Exactly, Platt. Exactly. So don't go off thinking, man, Steve thinks jealousy is a good thing. No, and that I'm not saying that jealousy is a good thing as far as like, go find somebody who's gonna get jealous and punch a wall whenever they see you talking to the mailman. No, don't do that. That's the bad kind of jealousy. But I do think that you can use some internal reflection, and I think that when you feel jealousy, I think you can analyze it and you can say to yourself, okay, why am I jealous? Well, I'm jealous because this person is really good at writing. And gosh darn it, I wish I was good at writing. Well, the only way I'm going to get good at writing is if I go and I write. So I'm going to start writing. And that's something that I think is, something that you can do is you can control your own destiny in that way. So I like the variety of content you do. Variety, community, kindness. I appreciate that, Kira. Very cool. Jealousy is like every other emotion. Some can control it and do good with it, others can't and do bad. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I view it, H. That's pretty much, honestly, yes. I don't feel the same community in other streams. Well, that means a lot to me. I really do like that. I like that you feel community, honestly. A signal for analyzing self-reflection. Such a great way to put it. Really observing the impact of ego there. Yeah, you have to figure out yourself. So the answer there. I'm sorry, I don't remember who said that. Was it Platt? I'm not sure. But no, it's not the typical. I found love when I stopped looking for it because then I met my wife in the supermarket when we both happened to reach for a cantaloupe at the same time. No, it wasn't that. It was I found who I wanted to be by seeing what others were doing that I wish I was doing, and then figured out how to do it in my own way. So, really, you know, now you want cantaloupe? No, sorry. Is this true, Canta? Yes. True. True. Yep. You love the way I put that? Good. Fine. Um, Not the fighters the love for cantaloupe. Listen, regardless of your personal feelings of cantaloupe or or our chatter cantaloupe. Man, I feel bad now. Canta's like, what did I do? You know, I don't know. It's like and I think some of that's finding your voice. And I'm kind of just saying that for those of you who are streamers or who want to be streamers, I'm trying to impart a little wisdom here. But I feel like one of the one of the things for me was figuring out the ways I didn't want to behave and the ways I did. And in doing that, I discovered what would work for me. And it took me years to do that because I could emulate Dr. Lupo and I could be funny and witty. I mean, here's a good example, right? I was saying this to a friend of mine the other day. I was saying how I think it's wild that lately something I've been hearing in this chat and Kayla's chat and some other areas of the internet are, man, Steve is really funny. Like, holy shit, you're really good at humor. And it's not something that I've ever been really comfortable with. And but I've been hearing it more lately. I've been having more and more people mention that as a possible strength of mine. And I think that it takes a while for you to figure out exactly what are your main draws. I think, like at first, I thought that my main draw of people wanting to be here would be that I was okay at a video game, despite the fact that I had to use a weird controller setup. And then here's the weird part, chat. Are you ready for this? I've realized that most of you don't give a flying fuck that I play video games with a hat. It's a really good hook. When somebody jumps in the channel for the first time, it's really good to make them stop and be like, oh shit, he's playing that video game with just a hat. That's pretty damn cool. But it only lasts for about 10 minutes. And young Steve thought that that would be something that would keep people interested for hours. And it's not. And it took a long, long time for me to figure out that there's a difference between something that you do because you have to and something that you do that keeps people entertained. So, right, I think that's I think that's one of my secrets is I figured out that, you know, a cool, hat isn't gonna be the end all be all of why somebody's here to watch. Have I done a video of the controller setup? Yes, I did. Check out the links that Carpet posted right there. So yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Like, I think you just kind of learn as you go along, like what it is you actually are all about, and I think that helps to figure out, what you're gonna be when you grow up. So that's my thing. Yeah, your clips stay archived longer. Is the most recent. Clips stay forever. Clips are never deleted. That's kind of the cool thing about clips is once something has been clipped, it stays forever, and you never ever lose it. Twitch is a bit confusing. It can be forever. Yeah, it can be confusing here. You're no doubt about that. Well, that's just Twitch. Sometimes Twitch just doesn't work in general. So sometimes Twitch is just kind of wild like that, and it doesn't work the way that you think it should. Yeah, I know that's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's again, these are all just the random musings of a streamer who felt like hanging out with chat tonight. Take whatever you want from these conversations and apply them to your life as you feel is necessary. Twitch has hiccup for you 4 times when the players crashed? Yeah. You would think that they would work on that, but they don't. I get overwhelmed with fairly active discords, but Steve has a great community. Yeah, and D-Ray left our Discord for a while, and I actually asked D-Ray publicly one day why they chose to leave, because it was very interesting to me, in that I wanted to know why people were or were not staying in Discord, and I think it's interesting why people may or may not choose to hang out in a Discord. I mute things that are too active. Almost every single one of my Discords is muted. The only ones that are not muted are mine and guys. Every other Discord that I'm a part of is muted. for the same reasons. I 100% get it. I also use it as an advertisement. Whenever I go live, I'll at everybody to let them know that I'm live. Because Twitch does an awful job of it. Mark all as read. Yes, exactly. I feel like I have to click everything and read everything. Yeah, I know. Interesting tech to see and talking. It was really sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I think that was part of what took me so long as well on Twitch was figuring out I didn't have to talk about accessibility all the time. Holy crap. That was such a relief. Chat, I cannot even tell you. I cannot even tell you. I've talked to PV about this offline. She can tell you. It gives me a lot of strife. I am excited to, after I get done with September and this charity shit, make content that's not about accessibility. Like, holy shit. I love Marvel. You know, Marvel's one of my favorite things in this world. Marvel comics, Marvel movies, space. I really like space. I like sci-fi. I like looking at NASA images. I love that kind of stuff. I like philosophy. Like, you know, there's so many things that I never really get to talk about because I am the accessibility guy, quote unquote. Um, so it's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to doing some other stuff. Some of chat has recently been encouraging me to go back to doing writing streams. That was something that I would have never fucking imagined. Just like the videos, that was mind blowing to me. When people were like, "Yeah, I miss when you did writing." I thought that was boring and nobody wanted to watch it. I had no idea there were actually parts of the audience that did like watching it. That was wild to me. I only mentioned it because you're interested. No, I'm not. I wasn't saying you, Dan. I'm not picking on you for mentioning that. I'm saying that it took me a long time to learn that I could do both. That I could talk about accessibility and the other things that I do. It took me a long time to realize that. Favorite philosopher or approach right now? I just learned about Greywall. That's interesting to me. But also, I mean, for me, philosophy is a matter of going through time. I mean, Marcus Aurelius, of course, the greatest master of philosophy of all time. Mark Martin happens to be one of my favorites of our time. I think he's the guy who did the subtle art of not giving a fuck. He's really, really good. You know, that kind of stuff just thrills me. I could have entire streams where we do nothing but debate philosophy. I would I would love that. That would be amazing. And would it tank my numbers? Probably. I'm not sure that I really care anymore, to be honest with you. Kind of what I'm enjoying right now is kind of like Kira said. I'm kind of enjoying getting known for variety because here's what happens. Here's what gives me a huge advantage is you know what I'm starting to learn, chat? I'm starting to learn that if you tune into my channel and you don't like what I'm doing, you're not going to, for the most part, most people are not going to unfollow me and never come back. You're just going to come back a different day. And it took me so long to get there as a person to where I could just be like, yeah, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And if you don't want to watch it, come back later. It took me so long to get there, honestly. And welcome back, Rocker. Philosopher Steve. It sounds like a dinosaur, Mike. I think that's pretty cool. What did I do with writing? Well, so I had this wild idea, H, and I would like to pick it back up again. And I'm playing around. I haven't made any decisions yet, but I played around with turning Wednesdays into writing streams. So basically, um, I appreciate that, Kira. Thank you. So basically, what we did is we opened up a mind board, right? And then we plotted out the course of an entire book with me being at the helm and chat giving ideas. And my idea was that I would have one of the mods write down anytime I accepted any of the ideas, and then at the end of the book, we would write down the username of everybody who contributed, and we would eventually write the book, get it edited, and then publish the book via Twitch chat. So it would essentially be, you know, it would be a book that was written under my name, but it also had an asterisk that basically said, here's all the people that contributed. And then we would, take the profits to it, and we would donate a certain percentage to charity, or we would do something cool for stream with some of the profits, because when you self-publish a book, you don't get a lot of money. So it's not like it would be like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we came up with a really cool idea for a thing. Even Spanner, and Spanner hates everything I do. Even he liked when we were doing this idea, was saying he wasn't sure why we stopped doing it. But the idea behind the book was essentially that we were developing a book where there are dream hunters and this team of people who's like one person who is attuned to be able to read your mind when you're asleep. Teams up with someone who is a dream warrior, and the dream warriors are the people who can go in and actually fight versus the demons that are in your mind. And then you basically go to this team of people that's like an A team, and they help relieve you when you have nightmares that just won't end. They actually go into your dreams and they fight the nightmares, and then once they're victorious, then you don't have nightmares anymore. And it would have to be a team of people, like an RPG, where there's one person that can connect to the person's mind. There's one person who's very good at fighting, one person who's really good at being a scientist, but they all have their weaknesses. Like the scientist isn't good at fighting, and so they have a rule that they always have to have a team that's balanced. And so it was really kind of a cool idea. Um, but it took a minute. It took a minute to get there, and then the writing part is a lot of work. So good night, hat and sandal guy. So I wasn't really confident. I wasn't confident that people were enjoying it, and unfortunately, a negative side of Twitch is that you do have to be mindful that if people are not enjoying your content, you can't do that. Like that is unfortunate truth. Is you cannot do content on your channel that people are not going to have fun with. So it just kind of stopped me and decided basically not to do it. So you know neither here nor there. It was one of those things where I just decided to change direction. So you know yeah, we'll see whether or not we bring that back. It was fun though. It was fun when we were doing it. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that was what we did. But that's kind of the stuff that I keep thinking about, like um, you know, bringing some of that stuff back, doing some of that stuff. Is that the kind of channel that we want? Is that the community focus that we want? So yeah, interesting way to think about chat. Um, So I don't know. It's taken a while to come around to it, but definitely something I continue to change how I view Twitch streaming, and I think that's gonna be a change in the content as we continue to move forward, and not always just clicking on heads. Mad libs with chat. I mean, it's essentially kind of what it was in a weird way, yeah. I read as a hobby. If you ever need want someone to type it down on your behalf, I'm glad to. Well, thank you for the offer. I appreciate that, Chirpy. Someone else is interested in it. There are 6 million on the planet. There must be some overlap, right? That's how you think about stuff. It's a good way to think about things. It's thinking about things under the guise of I would like to do this, and I would like to see who else is interested, is fun. But you can also kill your chat the same way, you know? So, good night, Dr. Katie. If you choose to do something that nobody wants, it can end up where nobody comes around to talk or hang out. So it's that balancing act, you know. Yeah, and that's well, there's a lot of people, no doubt about that. Yeah, whatever the number is, it's a big number. That's what that is. Yes. Um. So yeah, I don't know. So to answer the original question that I think was asked like 35 minutes ago, um, I found that I just like hanging out more with chat these days, and I just like doing things that amuse me and hoping that that will also amuse you. That's how I am at nowadays. I wonder if short stories will be better for viewers because people wouldn't feel lost coming in partway through. I mean, that was kind of one of my concerns as well, Annie, was, you know, how do I how do I continually catch people up,
Thanks
right?
for the bits. You're a real sweetheart.
Hey, Dark Horse.
You know that.
Dark Horse, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Yeah, so I think, whether it would be a collection of short stories or, an anthology, whether it would be one giant book, I don't know. The only thing that's hard for me about short stories is the one thing about the writing idea, I think, is that it leans a lot on my personal skill, and my personal skill is not in short stories. I'm not a short story writer. The only book that I've ever written was a noir, regular long form book. I have never written a lot of short stories. A little bit of fan fiction here and there, Mousy and Wish getting it on. Other than that, I haven't really written a lot of short form stuff. So it would be interesting to have to, you know, um, figure out how to write short stuff. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. It could be interesting. It could be fun. I'm just not sure. It's fine. Don't worry about it, Carpet. It's fine. You're jealous? Well, now you know what you want in your life. All right, introspection. A basic catch-up channel. I mean, that's probably a good idea. Also, we can have notes. We'd have notes on where it's gonna go. And have sort of that ability to plot it out. And I think it'd be fun. I think the only red flag that I really saw, um, that I would have to worry about. Welcome back, Sunflash. Or Sunflower. Sorry. Um, that I do have to work around, and I haven't figured out how to do it yet. And I think it's on me. Is I have to figure out a way to basically say to someone, "That's a good idea. It doesn't fit here." And then, because I think the one thing I did see happen is sometimes people would suggest something and I wouldn't like the suggestion, so I didn't go with it, and then people felt bad because their suggestion didn't work. So I think I would have to have like something pre-recorded or something that I could just play, that I would play every couple of hours to be like, hey, we're doing this as a collaborative effort, and sometimes that means your ideas won't be accepted because ultimately I'm writing the book and you are my co-pilot and you're navigating for me. And that means that sometimes I'm not going to steer the way you want me to, but that doesn't mean that your navigation is not appreciated. And so I'm going to have to find a way to just say that repeatedly, so that people understand that, their input is valued and is wanted, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to listen to every single idea that every single person has. We could always have a parking lot, meaning ideas can put there to use for other things, just not right now. That's true. That's a good idea, PB. Yeah. Improvisation. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, a lot of this stems from the fact that I'm You ever had an urge, chat? And I guess some of you who aren't creative, maybe you're not going to understand this, but there's a certain feeling you get when you're a creative, when you just haven't created anything in a while, and you feel that desire. Well, I know you have urges to murder people, Valley Cakes. I'm talking about creative stuff here. But where I just want to make something, right? I want to write. I want to do music. Like there's something inside me that wants to make something new into the world. I want, like as much as I like streaming, and I've had this argument with fellow creators, I don't feel like streaming is a really creative endeavor. And I don't mean that offensively. I'm sure at least two of you are kind of offended right now that I said that, but and I truly don't mean it that way. It's just that I don't feel like this is creating anything. I feel like this is social. This is a conversation. This is you and me getting some social time, getting some social energy back. But I don't feel like I'm actually creating anything, right? We've done this for 2.5 hours. Did we actually create anything? Nah, not really. So I kind of just feel like recording music, writing a book, like I want to make something, and I think it would be cool. No, creating love is when one person loves another person very, very much, and then H shows PB her boobs, and then they make a PB and H sandwich. That's entirely different. Waffles. Oh, now you scarred carpet again. Nice job, Rocker. There could be a stream about social performance art, like particular kind of stream. Exactly, like that's a different kind of art. That's making something. I don't know. I want a creative outlet that I am either going to do online or offline. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may marry the two by doing something creative on stream, or I may just do it offline. I don't know. I haven't really entirely decided, but I know it's a different vibe I want to do. But again, because me and my fucking infinite wisdom, I always like to take the hardest path. Being a variety streamer who's also in the creative category is the hardest path, and it's not playing Twitch on easy mode. I'll say that. When I'm low on energy, both physically and mentally, but I feel the itch to create something, I give Midjourney random prompts, and it temporarily helps you with the creative itch, and sometimes gives you inspiration for your own art. I agree. I think that's why I liked Midjourney so much, Alicia, and that's why I think that art stream went so well. It was not the most profitable thing I ever did. I think I actually lost money on that, but it was fun and I enjoyed it, and it got people like H addicted to it, right? So that's not bad. Bottom line, if you're doing it, I will be most likely here and enjoy it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Birdman. Yeah, I mean, it's all about that collaborative process, right? It's all about just figuring out, what you want to do and how you want to handle things. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see if that's a different vibe we end up playing with or not. You hate capitalism? We've had an entire stream talking about some pretty anti-capitalist ideas. Good night, Kanta. I'm sorry that I used you as an example of finding love. Hopefully nobody tried to squeeze you without consent. If they did, I'm sorry. Unless you liked it. In that case, you're welcome. Yeah, we were talking about the cantaloupes earlier. You have to watch the VOD. Working burns you out so you're too tired to do art. I get that. Yep. So good at love finding. Yep, that happened. Yep. Although PB also said she doesn't like cantaloupes, so we learned some new things tonight. So you may be closer to one and not the other. You know what I mean? But it's really interesting. Valley Cakes, PB, some others that we're talking about also wanting to create music and making music and stuff like that. Like, I think that's great. and I think that's something that you should continue to do. And to me, that just makes it feel like a good night. That makes it feel like you created something, you brought something into the world, and I think, um, I think that's worthwhile. I honestly do. Love the community. Oh, we love you too. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. We appreciate that. Wanting to work on your pieces, but you're dead inside when you get home from work. Yeah, I mean, I think that may be honestly part of what's behind me wondering if I should do something on stream. Because quite frankly, I've watched myself for the last month on Mondays. I'm not doing anything. I have the whole day off, and you know, I'm not going out and hanging out with people, or I'm literally just like recuperating from the long week. And so I may need to marry the two of my interests in order to get something done. And if I do, I do. That's just the way that is. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. I think it's something variety wise that I am gonna try, that I am gonna do. And we'll kind of go from there. We'll see how it feels. Who knows? Who knows? Since the wedding bells, don't be giving the ladies ideas, all right? I don't have any rings on these fingers, ladies. All right, I don't see any of you mailing me a ring pop. All right, empathizing with that feeling. Well, yeah, you don't wanna go. You don't want to end up in a situation where sense featurings. Yeah, you don't want to end up in a situation where you've over promised what you can deliver. Put ring pops on your throne? No, because you'll be the one that sends it to me. And then I'll have to marry you, and then Allie will be mad at me, and then she'll never flash me, and then I'll die unhappy. So it just doesn't seem right, okay? Just doesn't. Sweet Pat. I know, check out that green screen, isn't it great? I know. It's one of the best I ever had. I like this one better though. I like this desk better. It feels more personal. A little smaller though. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we'll do for the remainder of these kind of different streams, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. It 1000% desk. Thank you. I like it. It is a good desk. It is. So we'll see. I don't know. I think the funniest thing about the whole conversation, chat, is even talking it out with you about philosophy, writing, music making, video gaming. I think the funniest part to me is there still really isn't the thing that we all definitely want to do. There doesn't seem to be one thing that everyone's like, man, as long as you do this one thing, Steve, I just want to make sure that you know, that we're no like every Sunday we do Frog Night, but other than that, we don't have an every week thing. Even the thing with Guy has been hit and miss recently, with him being, getting married and being all over the place. So, you I think variety is kind of what we do now. And it's pretty fun to act that way, honestly. Just hear her chat. I like that though, honestly. Other green screen feels like one secret lab from Neopets. Let's go. We're definitely not gonna do spooky games. I know you were paying attention to Beaver League and not to what we're talking about over here, but I'm not doing spooky things. I actually am really happy about that. Finding new games to explore helps you learn about new things. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's a couple of new games that I have downloaded to try out. We're gonna put up this goal. We do have this goal. We are gonna do it. So we would need 90 sub points to get there. But like tonight we've been just bullshitting and hanging around. I know, Galran. I know. I'm just teasing you. What game is that? Trombone Champion. It's where it's literally Rockman with a trombone. It's so stupid. The guy's gonna be doing it for his charity night. A whole bunch of my streamer pals have been doing it. Like, it looks fun. I think tromboners. Yes, exactly. I think it'll be fun. I think y'all will like us doing it. I think it'll be good times. Penguin Heist, so yeah, it's a very silly game. But I think it's gonna be great to just listen to me, you know, being like, I don't know. It's just the weirdness of trombone playing. Should be fun. But yeah. And there's also another one that was kind of weird. That a friend of mine from Raw Fury sent called Dome Keeper, and it's essentially a game where you mine up resources like a roguelite and then bring them back to your area to defend your base. It's really kind of interesting if you liked the Kingdom series that we did from Raw Fury. That was the one I was playing with Alana. You'll probably like this. It was pretty cool. It's a little hard. It's hard to play, but it was fun. Um, so, and we've got some other keys. Like we got Food Truck Simulator, Fallout 76. I still want to finish Power Washing Simulator, and then of course there's our regulars with Rocket League and Fall Guys. You wanna know what the fuck the controls are? It's just a mouse. It's literally just a mouse. That's why I'm so interested in it. That's I think what'll be great about the Tuba game is it's just a mouse. Club Penguin. We're not gonna play Club Penguin, not tonight. Not tonight. Still not over Power Washing Sims. Yeah, I'm gonna finish that too. Hi Yellow Lily, how are you? Good to see you. Hello. Am I gonna play Overwatch 2? Yes. Yes we are. Also coming out next month is Marvel Snap. And tomorrow morning Slime Rancher 2 comes out. So, hello Venom. Welcome in. I'm doing okay, Lily. Yeah, we've just been having conversations over here tonight. It's only in a few weeks. I know. There's a lot of games to play. That's for sure. Not tonight. I know. Power Washing is coming to PlayStation, so you can finally play it. It's good. I highly recommend it, highly recommend. Oh, PB. Well, at least you got your shot. I mean, that's what really matters is you got the shot. You know, I wasn't sure if you're gonna be able to get it, so I need to go do that as well. I have been hearing from a lot of friends that unlike um the first booster, this one is really taking people down. It's really hurting people's arms, and then they feel very sort of out of it for a couple days. Apparently, this vaccine is much harder. Oh, I really have to sneeze. Uh-oh. Ugh. Nothing like getting to watch someone sneeze in 4K. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that. You had no issues with either vaccine. See, yeah, but yeah, that was the same thing with me, Galran. Like I had no problems with any of them. I felt very blessed. But apparently this vaccine is way harder. So I don't know. probably should schedule the booster soon. I would advise you to, yeah. I would advise you to definitely consider getting it done. Oh, thank you so much. Howdy, y'all. Good to see you. Yeah, don't go. I mean, it does suck that sometimes the boosters put people in the hospital because that's what you want to avoid, but also they do help you avoid more serious consequences from not being boosted, so one or the other. Keep forgetting it's available. It is. It is available right now. Let's go. What's the long-term issue? Yeah, Galrian also has some heart things he has to be careful about. What the hell are you talking about, Saifu? Come on. Or you can find them near you. You know what I've been hearing is that I've been hearing that people have been unable to get Moderna. Apparently, Moderna is very in demand right now, and so it may or may not be easy for people to get the one that they want right now. So just be careful of that. I need to schedule a booster and plan to go get it in July. I think the new vaccine only came out recently, Kira, so I don't think you're that behind. It just added complication. Yeah, you gotta watch those complications. That's really the worst. There's a release, can sympathize. Yep. Moderna's so hot right now. I know. Like, so hot. So hot. Pfizer is the only bivalent booster here in Colorado. Oh, man. I mean, some booster's better than no booster, right? Same three companies making. I don't think that's true. I thought they were differently, but I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't always affect everyone severely, but the play. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You got one booster, and the place you get your shards aren't doing second boosters for your age group yet. Yeah, you gotta have. Well, now that the new one's coming out, Gail, you should be able to. Everybody qualifies for the new variant. You have asthma, so it's a must for you. Yep. I 100% feel that. It's a must for me as well. As long as your last shot was 2 months ago. Gotcha. Yeah, you wanna at least get some protection in there. I mean, it's no matter what the president says, the pandemic is still a scary thing. So keep that in mind. Hey, speaking of friendship, there's a David. Hello, David. Welcome in, bud. How are you? Hello, hello. Good to see you. How are you? We're over here talking about all the Twitch debacle stuff. And then we just kind of devolved into random chats. But quite an interesting evening, eye-opening, very much. Hello, Frog. How are you doing tonight? Good to see you. How are you? That's available for everyone right now? Yeah, right now you can get the booster with the new variant. It should be available for everybody. Living the dream? Yeah, I mean, a little upset about all the shenanigans that Twitch is doing. Limiting people's growth and not giving a fair share to all creators, regardless of how big or small, quote unquote, they may be. Really, one of those things. I don't know if you saw or if you were streaming, you might not have seen it. A bunch of the ex Twitch employees got together on Twitter, and they were talking in the Twitter space about all the things that Twitch messed up and really hadn't really talked about. So You have to look. Yeah, I've got part of it in the beginning of this VOD, but also you probably could find a more complete version of it because it was like 2.5 hours with DJ Wheat and Shannon and some of the original Twitch people. Basically talking about, what Twitch is screwing up and how they're really doing bad at making sure that everybody has a chance to prosper. So the big topic of the night was whether or not you diversify over to YouTube, and just hearing the original Twitch people who raised this platform from nothing talking about, that you have to go to YouTube, you have to do YouTube videos, is just so disheartening. Like, there really should be more discoverability on this platform. Modern world feels like a bunch of zombies given the keys of the kingdom. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. But now we have an even better way to squeeze money out of our chats. You know, the new Boost hype trains where we pay for front page advertisements. That's exciting. You started a YouTube channel, so did I. Carpet's been advertising it all night. Because I'm doing the same thing. I started a YouTube channel today because I'm like, well, if Twitch crashed tomorrow, I would lose a significant chunk of my friends. So maybe I should have a backup plan. Because right now I don't have any. Yep. I mean, so that's part of what they were talking about in the Twitter space is, that they basically made it where it makes us feel like we're better off to just stick here, but we're really not. Thank you, Garbage. Appreciate you. 66 is just as sexy as 69. That's just boobs with a Twizzler. I don't know where I was going with that one. Anyway, social life is through Twitch having that. Yeah, exactly. Agreed. Yep. Don't question me, Kelrai. Okay, I don't. That's. Since you're here, SteveInSpawn, is there a specific Tiltify campaign for Spawn Together you should select or just make a new one? No, if you go to spawntogether.com and you click on the big red Start Raising Money, you'll sign up for a team and you directly put it underneath Spawn Together, and then it'll say that you're raising money for the Spawn Together initiative, raising money for able gamers. So it just make sure that whenever you sign up for it, it says Spawn Together. And that's how you do it. They're not loyal to anyone but themselves, so no reason you should be any different. Yeah. I mean, YouTube has its own issues, but that said, kind of like David was saying, like, I don't want to go do it. I'm not really interested in having a YouTube, but also I should. And Page 2 was asking about the campaign, though. Yeah, click through to the campaign. And when you click through to the campaign, it should say you're creating a new campaign as a solo or a team. And then under that, you'll be under Spawn Together. As long as you come in through spawntogether.com, it's going to put you in the right campaign. So you should be good to go. And then we'll be raising money. I'm not sure what the grand total is. I haven't looked at it today, but I think we're over 400,000. I think we're doing okay. It certainly hasn't taken on as well as the first time around did, because there's a lot of burnout right now with Twitch. And as you can imagine, there was no point in reaching out to anybody today. Wow, we're at 447,000. Let's go. We're almost at 500,000. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Smashly's doing some work. She's up to 3,700 right now. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I learned that next year I've got to reach out earlier. Next year I've got to. I was too late to get some of the people that I really, really wanted in on the campaign. So I got to reach out a little bit earlier in the year and make sure that everyone's on board. Birdie in chat, Birdie on screen are synced looking. Aw. Appreciate that. Wayward. Of course it's 69 in your heart. Why would it not be? Yep, so that's what we've been doing tonight, hanging out, talking about all the Twitches and all the stuffs. So, not a bad night. Not a bad night overall. I don't know that we're actually going to play games tonight. I may actually just hang out with y'all for a couple more minutes, and then... What are you doing? Good lord. I literally cannot put H and PB in the same room together without them starting anti-pants riots. It's just a problem. But yes, to answer Galaran's question, I'm not PB. I'm not saying anything. I'm just okay. You know what? I can't win this conversation. This I cannot win this conversation. All I'm saying is that yes, we're going back to video games. Overwatch 2. We will be playing some Overwatch 2. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. There's just so many things. Also, Gas Station Simulator is coming out with another DLC, so I want to play through that. Oh, there's just so much to do, chat. There's so much to do. Not enough time to do it all, you know? Not enough time to do everything. Hello, White Wolf. I mean, the biggest problem, of course, being like, you know. Oh shit! I got approved for Slime Rancher too. Let's go. Let's go. I'm 100% accepting that key. Go. Be interested. I didn't play the first Slime Rancher. I wanted to. I never played it. Never got around to it. Can't wait. Can't wait to play it. Well, you're gonna get to watch me play Slime Rancher. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I don't know if Kayla wants to do our normal thing tomorrow night or not. Basically because she's moving, so I'm not sure what time she's gonna want to hang out. So if Kayla doesn't want to hang out tomorrow, then we'll probably play Slime Rancher. And if she does, then we'll probably play it on Saturday. Yep. Slime Rancher 2 comes out tomorrow. Yes, it does. Are you ready, PB? Slime Ranching. Let's go. I never played the first one. Kind of sad that 2 is hitting Game Pass when 1 is leaving. I mean, it seems like you don't need to play 1 to play 2. It seems like you could just play 2. Everything I've seen is you can just jump right into the new one. Finish your prep work for Friday nights. Congratulations, Rocker. Let's go. Had their nips tattooed to look like hearts. Okay. Slime Rancher was the first game you streamed? Oh, that's awesome. Let's go. I have the first one downloaded, but haven't played it yet. Same. I had it on my computer, but yeah. I know this is wild, Galran, but you don't have to play spooky games. You could play not spooky games. There's nothing wrong with not playing spooky games. Do you think it'll be on Xbox Live or Game Pass? I don't know. I actually don't even know if Slime Rancher 2 is multiplayer or not. I don't think it is. I think that I think it's single player. I'm not sure. Galaran is a Disney princess. Yes, he is. He's a very pretty princess. So proud of you. Single player? Damn. It would be cool if that was a modded game. Maybe some modders will come along, like Skyrim, and make a mod where you can play with multiple friends. That would be cool. I mean, after all, there is there's a Sims. There's a Sims version, right? So that could be a thing too. I don't know. Who knows? Could be multiplayer sim kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. Oh my gosh, Wayward. I swear to God. It is difficult to keep control of you all at the same time. But at any rate, yeah. So there's a lot on our plates, and I'm over here talking about I want to do some not gaming things. So, you know, what are we gonna do? I don't know. There's lots of things to do, and you know, who knows what we'll end up doing out of the whole thing. The only thing about Slime Rancher is you're always scared they're gonna go feral and eat everyone. That sounds fun and weird and wild and also interesting. That's half the fun. Oh, is that they can go feral and eat you? Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm gonna make pumpkin Mothman with the only one. You decided? Okay, you do that. You do that, D-Ray. Let's go. It's a thing that can happen. Alright. Well, I mean, I guess that's something I get to learn about because I don't know anything about it yet. So, oh, but it eats the others? Oh, interesting. Okay. Like I said, I never played the first, so and they eat too many different kinds of their own poops. Okay. Sure. Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah. 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 I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I don't know. They turn into huge gray slimes that are really mean. Ugh. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. There's some cool games on the horizon. I don't know what date Overwatch 2 comes out or Marvel Snap for that matter. I know that I'm looking forward to both of them and I'm going to play them both. I'm also not totally done with Fall Guys or Rocket League, so Overwatch is on the 4th. That's not long. That's not far away at all. Damn. Well, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Now, without Quietly's influence around, I'm less likely to play Fall Guys, so who knows? Maybe we'll go off on a different path for a while. Who knows? I also do like Fall Guys, though, because a lot of us play it, so... Marvel Snap is 10/18. I cannot wait for that. Although, I will say, I think Marvel Snap might be a game I don't play on stream. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I don't know how interesting it'll be for y'all. It might be too slow. Like I was just talking about earlier, I can't. There's not. I can't do everything that I like on stream, and so like Teamfight Tactics. I like playing Teamfight Tactics, but every time I try, yeah, nobody wants to watch. So maybe that's there's some things that you just play for your own enjoyment and not streaming it. So you hope a mod comes out for Slime Rancher to be multiplayer? Me too. You're getting nothing but being confused. It's a new card game kind of thing. You basically assemble different Marvel characters and use them to fight. It's really kind of nifty. It's right up my alley. I'm somebody who likes Hearthstone. If you like Hearthstone kind of games, you'll like it. If you don't like Hearthstone, you probably won't like it. Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. You assemble a party and you go fight, yada yada yada. So it's kind of like a Hearthstone, Marvel, Magic the Gathering, RPG card game crossover. I guess that's probably pretty close. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun though. So as you can see, I got it'll be full on platform. Yeah, it will be. Yep. Not where you were guessing. Yeah, it's just like simplified. It's marvelized. It's Hearthstone, but it's made so it's palatable to a bigger audience. Yeah, that kind of thing. So we'll see. And also, we do have this trombone championship goal, which we're already 13 points into, and I haven't even advertised it. So I want to do that as well. So kind of hoping for the digital version of Marvel Smash Up. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very cool. And if we're gonna do the trombone game, I'd like to do it this week or this weekend, so we can have some fun with it, and then we can advertise Guy doing his for charity on next Friday. Which, if he's doing it on Friday, he probably needs to talk. Like I heard him talk. So it just dawned on me. If he's doing the charity thing next Friday, he needs to talk to me because that's our normal night for shenanigans. So need to figure that out. But at any rate, so yeah, we wanna make sure to get all that done as well. You mentioned Friday earlier, so I gotta find out what he was talking about for Friday, unless he just misspoke, which is entirely possible, knowing that bozo. Shenanigans, exactly. Shenanigans. So we'll see. We'll see how that thing, how the whole situation plays out. Yeah, it would make sense if it's League to be Wednesday. I'll have to message him and be like, "Why did you say Friday?" There's a lot of Marvel games out there, Galrin. There's a Marvel game for just about everything, to be honest with you. There's Strike Force, Smash Up. There's gosh, I just looked this up the other day. There's like 5 different Marvel games I haven't gotten around to playing yet, and I never did play Avengers because it wasn't accessible. So, good night, Alicia. Have a good night, my friend. Good night. Good night. At any rate, it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, so I guess I will call it there for tonight. Thank you for hanging out, everybody, for just listening for having the time to listen to me whine. I thought we were gonna play some some Power Wash tonight, but didn't end up getting around to that just because it was a good night to hang out and talk. I kind of like those nights, doing that every now and again, where we're just, you know, talking about nothing and everything all at once. Good to do once in a while, right? So tomorrow night we'll play some video games. What video game? I don't know because we have a lot of choices. So we will see what that brings. And then I see I'm an influencer. I got it in your brains. But at any rate, so hopefully, and we'll also try to go for a hype train tomorrow as well. I'd like to see more of what that boost does. I don't really want to start one now because it would kind of go to waste because we're wrapping up anyway. But tomorrow, maybe we'll try to incentivize getting a hype train going and see what the boost does and kind of go from there. We'll see how it all works out. All right, everybody, you have a fantastic night. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow in the evening. Good night, everybody. Much love.
your fears. I'm standing right here next to you. Remember your dreams, no matter how hard it seems, you can get through. Why do you close your eyes? Why do you try to hide? Tell me, why do you close your eyes? Why do you try to hide? Think of all the roads you go through. Think of all the steps you take. Think of all the good things you do. No matter what it takes, always the good. Nothing can stop the wind. It comes and it goes. It blows where it wants. Just never stop believing that you can do everything, 'cause you still got